All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of course, our favorite, your favorite, or my favorite talk show, NetGuy and the Fox. And I'm going to change this right here so you can hear my partner in crime, the Fox, Samantha
Hello,
Foxy.
hello everyone. I'm glad we finally back for a second episode. And it wouldn't be. I'm surprised actually we're doing a second episode.
All right.
And it's gonna be great.
Oh yeah, we got so much shit to talk about, trust and believe, because there's been so much happening. Oh my god. it's almost
I'll
it's
be
all
on. Yeah.
yeah. But obviously, before we get started on this, I am going to talk about my favorite soda, well, not energy drink, rather, W Energy, the Zero Shame, very energetic, high energy drink that you should take. Zero sugar, zero calories, all the vitamins that you need just to keep you awake and active and hyper. With Creative, the coffee extract, whole fruit coffee extract involved, please give it a try. And of course, use the code REVOLUTION with the zeros in place of the O's to get 10% off your first purchase. I would recommend getting the starter pack if you're not sure what flavor to get. And if you need recommendations on my favorite flavors, obviously I like the fruit punch and the beach and peach, as well as the mango flavor that they sell sometimes at the store, and it's a delish. So yeah, go ahead, try Dubby. Help me out. Help them out. And I don't know if you want to say anything else there, Fox.
I'm so mesmerized by the mango.
the mesmer.
just saying it, try the mango. It's delicious.
Oh yeah. All right. So, any further ado, today we got a lot of topics to go by. I'm trying to see. Let's see what we should start with first. Let's see. Well, I guess first things first. Let's see what's we should do some talk about retro gaming because I know that's been being the hot topic that it is. Uh, Sam, anything to say about retro gamings from your end?
Ah. Speaking about retro gaming, so for me it's like smashing an open door.
Oh,
I am I have been like my whole life so hypnotized and enjoying so much the retro gaming. So to me is kind of like coming back to be your younger yourself, pretty much. You know what I mean?
oh, oh yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I mean, heck, being someone that's been I've been playing since. Ooh, this was the not the NES days because I wasn't even born during that time, but it's
Mm-hmm.
like I guess the beginning of the Super Nintendo days. So and the first console that I really did get was the NES. That was during the time it was phasing out, and then they were trying to debut the Super Nintendo and all that stuff. So I
Yeah.
definitely know the what you're talking about with when it comes to retro gaming. Heck, even the I believe it's the sixth generation is now considered retro, and I know that's probably showing everyone's age there. Don't remind me.
Well, pretty much. I think nowadays also the PlayStation 2 era are considered retro gaming.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's what I'm
For
talking about.
sure,
That's the sixth
PlayStation 1,
generation.
that's for sure.
Oh yeah, even yeah, like the Nintendo GameCube, the original Xbox, and then PlayStation 2. That's now considered retro. So,
Jesus
oh,
Christ, how fast pass the years. But can I make a bold statement about that?
go ahead.
Finally, a change into the medium. Finally, I was so damn tired to see Call of Duty likes, Souls likes, games that have been released with an impressive amount of those, I'd be like, man, make something for diversify a little bit.
Yeah. Those were the days where you get experiments on like almost every genre. You got especially
Mm-hmm.
like the fighting game genre. Oh my god. So I remember because this was like during the Xbox era, so I remember this was a time that in the Xbox eras, I believe it was what was his name? John Tobias from
Mm-hmm.
the guy that made Mortal Kombat and all that stuff. One of the people. Uh, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, by the way, because I always get these damn names wrong. But yeah, you got
Mm-hmm.
one half of the Mortal Kombat creators, and they made a game called Tao Fang. I think it's what it's called. Enter the Fist. Tao Fang, Fist of the Lotus. Sorry,
Mm-hmm.
and that was basically there we go, John Tobias. Yep. And yeah, and he made that, and I was amazed with what he brought because it was like it was a different thing altogether, and it was like this was like the 2003s. This is like a time that every genre was going through its experimental phase, and it got me excited because heck, the Xbox itself, they got a ton of fighting games that are experimental, even one that got kind of like a not a ban per se, but like recalled because it was quoting a religious book.
Yeah.
Kakuto Shojin is what the name is called, and it was pretty impressive what they made with that game.
Mm-hmm.
And what about you?
Well,
What do you
yeah.
remember from that era?
Uh, for that era, uh, so now that I'm not sure. I don't remember much. For that era, there has been much impressive for me, actually.
Oh, really? How so?
Because it's been like that period when I actually started to explore different type of games, different names. But it's been also the period of time when I actually started to digging in the indie industry. So I've been like pretty much away um, from the big names.
Oh, well, that's okay. I mean, heck, I've been mainly a Nintendo player at that time as well, so it's like, okay, how do
Hmm.
I spread out my wings? Well, usually I just have I go visit some friends that has these consoles and all that stuff, so it's like, oh, well, it's like I've managed to like experience it all and whatnot, and it's just oh my lord, the possibilities that I've missed. Well, again, because I was primarily a Nintendo console owner, so I've probably missed out on a lot. But at the same time, I've also experienced a lot of stuff like heck the very first remake of the Metal Gear Solid, the Twin Snakes. Oh,
Mm.
I thought they were pretty much of a genius remaking that, and I kind of wish to
You
see it
know,
back,
I
but eh.
I
How,
actually I never played the Metal Gear Solid game.
the Twin Snakes? That's the remake of.
No,
They
no,
made
no.
it exclusive.
I never played a single one.
Oh, really?
Not a single metal. And you know, if what's funny is, I never played a single Metal Gear Solid and never been attracted. But I played all the Silent Hill made by Kojima.
Oh goodness.
Eh, I'm sorry. What happened later for me are spin-off. I'm not, I don't consider them canon.
So, what were like your fondest memories of playing the Silent Hill games?
the second,
The
the
second?
second, yeah, the second has been the one that it completely it completely changed everything. If you think about it, and I'm very serious about that. Even playing the original one, today, remembering also, the gaming machine and the time there was. If you think about how it was created, especially that effect of the fog, man, that's something. And a lot of games, included, especially in the horror industry, they tried desperately to rival a little bit, or getting close to the emotion that Silent Hill 2 gave, and they never reached that level of intensity, especially for pretty much the story, the atmosphere of the entire game. And to be fair, the remake get very close, but for something I still prefer the original, especially for um, the type of voice and expression. It's really particular, actually, for a remake. It actually should be like, I had like, I saw a couple of things that I didn't like it much, or not that I didn't like it, but then compared with the original, and I don't mind to replaying it even now. I think on some specific, like the expression, like I said, the original was better.
And that's a good way to put it there, Fox. I mean, sometimes you do see a lot of these remakes and all that stuff. You've seen them go like have their ups and downs and side to sides. I just felt like saying that, but yeah. Sometimes you just don't get that same grit from the originals, especially when you
Mm-hmm.
look at games like the original Resident Evil, for example. I mean, yeah, some might say it's a janky mess of a game and it's like very stiff and whatnot. Although I
Uh,
do think
yeah.
that the remake that came out on the GameCube, I feel like that was kind of the exception when you think about it, because the original Resident Evil, when you think about it, yeah, the original on the PlayStation, that one had kind of a bit of a camp feel to it. And once the remake of Resident Evil came out on the GameCube, that had brought back its original intent of being gritty and just that very eerie feeling that you get when you try to turn every corner and then all of a sudden there's a monster hiding in the corner trying to attack you, for example, and then all the puzzles that you have to solve, and it's just the it just gets intense. There's some
Mm-hmm.
intensity. Some remakes do have that, a lot of them don't, is my point pretty much.
It depends also, how you make it. By the way, if I don't remember wrong, you once told me that you had the Nintendo Wii, right?
Yes.
You recall, actually, they made a remake of the Resident Evil, I think Zero, that was called The Umbrella Chronicle.
That one, I wouldn't, I guess it was a remake, but it's more like a retelling in a way. Or they just did it differently though. They played it like, it made it like where they plays like every arcade shooter that you see, like House of the Dead. They're trying to bring it like House of the Dead, but in a Resident
Yeah,
Evil
but
setting.
yeah, well, I mean, yeah, but they make it very much around the story of Resident Evil Zero, and for that it was pretty much good. Also, I mean, it wasn't like doing everything, like giving the freedom to go wherever you had to go, because yeah, like you said, it was like the old arcade shooting, where you actually have um a way you have to move, kill the zombies. Once they're clear, you move forward, but pretty much you don't control where you have to go.
Yeah.
But it was pretty good on that one. But the problem is that sometimes I do realize, because the big issue on that is when you actually have to make a remake, because if you make it too similar to the original, you touch pretty much um, the the thing about uh, being a remastered more than a remake. So
Yes.
when you have to do a remake, you must actually change something or add something for making it a little bit of different. Trying to working on the even working on the what if for making that one a little bit more solid and make it completely not a remake. Also because of course if you have to sell a video game as a remake or a remastered, well, of course, a remaster would cost far less than doing it a remake. Imagine if Silent Hill 2 would have been a remaster, you wouldn't have to pay $70 for for buying it. You would have bought at 40 probably.
Yeah, that usually lays around the issue because sometimes you have your remasters that just pretty up your graphics, for example, or just changes a couple of things. They just drop the difficulty or increase it if you feel like it was too easy. And that's really what a
Even bug correction that never been corrected from the original one.
yeah, and that's pretty much what a remaster is supposed to be. Not a remake. A remake would change pretty much everything and anything that the original had. That's really
Yeah,
the only difference between the two.
yeah, but here's the thing. For Silent Hill 2, actually, I'm not going to make major spoilers because I'm sure someone probably wouldn't have played it, and we are spoiling. We don't do spoilers,
Yep.
so just saying, and it's not that different, but it explore a little bit more some stuff. But to me it feels like it's not that different at the end of the day because anyway the story is that one. Even if you add a little bit more of an exploring, adding a little bit of exploration, you don't add actually that much.
Yeah, I mean, usually some remakes when it comes to remakes and all that stuff. Oh my god, we almost changing topics here, but it's all right. It's kind of relates to retro gaming anyways because I mean, there are some games that we have never experienced, at least we being me in America, because there's a lot of games that has been released in Japan only, and have been Japan only releases. So if they ever do like remakes or remasters to the country for the first time, I'd be okay with that. Kind of like Live Alive. That was one of Square. It was Square Enix. Square Enix. It was one of Square's first RPGs that they made.
Squaresoft
Yes, when they were
probably was called
Squaresoft.
before. Yeah,
Yeah, Live Alive, that's one of the games that was a Japan only release, and it had a very good storyline, very interesting storyline. Uh, it had different paths, it had decisions that you make that really do affect the ending,
mm-hmm.
which we don't really see much anymore these days and age. Even back then, they had branching paths that are actually more effective than the games today, where they're not
Well,
that
I mean,
effective.
well, actually, the most recent that actually come to me in mind, other than Baldur's Gate 3, pretty much. But before that, the last one that I recall that actually making a decision and causing consequences also for the ending has been Dragon Age Inquisition.
Oh, yeah, Dragon Age Inquisition, that's one of the recent ones that did have pathways, and
Mm-hmm.
affections to the endings and all that stuff. Not just like in the way where you decide this and that, but like in other aspects as well. I remember that, and yeah, it is one of the recent examples. I mean, I wouldn't say it's the only example, but it's like one of the few that's been out that does it that way as Live Life does.
Mm-hmm. No, well, I know, but in my case is for what I remember, but it's not like my memory of the entire medium in the world for all the years is that perfect to knowing every single game that has been released every single year. So it's very much subjective on that. Of course, it's possible that there are other games. That's why it says for what I remember, because my mind is not perfect and my memories are as well. So for what I could recall, and of course the people can recall something else. Then again, if eventually that game is effectively of that types of actually the choice matter or not is another it's another thing, because there are actually video games then it gives you the idea that actually what you do um, change the ending, but you don't feel that freedom of doing what you want, because they're made for following a precise path. Then eventually, if you have to derail from it, you you're not you're you're not like supposed to know first run. It is like I like to thinking is like on Dark Souls, for example, when you have to in Dark Souls 3, it's not clear when actually you do a certain ending instead of the other one, because there are specific things, and when you do the first run you probably don't know, or you actually skip or do it in the wrong order, right? And you're supposed to realize that after you do a new game plus, or even the Silent Hill remake is actually the same. I mean, it was also the same in the past anyway, so it's a little bit complicated, which make think if a video game specifically give you complete freedom, or actually make you follow a path, but you getting aware of those type of changes are available only when you do a specific number of new game plus. So it's a little bit complicated on that matter to realize that thing. But yeah, definitely for my memory, Dragon Age Inquisition is the one with true unquote free way for doing what you want to do, but also take responsibility for what you actually do. So paying the consequence of specific decision you make. Ah, also Mass Effect actually.
Yeah, Mass Effect does that too, especially at least in the first game, and I guess the second game as well. They did kind of mess it up on number 3 though. With the, I think we all know which we're talking about too.
Hey, look, it could have been worse, and they made Andromeda. So, I don't know, man.
And I suppose well, getting back to the retro gaming and all that stuff. So you know, like how you have the platformers being really big back in the day, because that was like
Mm-hmm.
the only thing that some of the technology back in the day could muster up somewhat, and the Metroidvanias as well too. You
I
know.
mean, yeah. I mean, for me, for example, my very first games, it was Nintendo, because that was the biggest one available. My first games were all platformers. It was Mega Man 1, Castlevania 1, and also Super Mario 1. And I also had one very specific that was called the Kid Icarus. You ever heard of it?
I have heard of it, yes.
You have it? Like
I had it
it's
on the Game Boy, believe it or not.
existed for Game Boy too.
Yeah, there was an
Ah,
original game for the
because
Game Boy.
originally, okay, I still have it here,
Oh,
and
really?
it was for Nintendo, for Nintendo
Yeah,
NES,
the NES, yes. Well, that's pretty
and
interesting. Oh,
I have to I have to say actually the fond memories I have might be between Kid Icarus and Castlevania 2. Even if I have to think about it, Castlevania 2 was the one that gave me nightmares, especially with Carmela and Dracula final battle. That was
oh, really?
scary.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you should. I mean, you should see the actually Dracula battle of Simon Quest, Castlevania 2. Man, it's scary. And for me, that I was a little kid, just imagine, or even Carmela with that whole mask with one eye was white and the other one I think was red with the tears blood. That was scary.
Oh, yeah, I can definitely see how that could scare a smaller child and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think I lived my whole childhood in horror games. That's why I like them so much.
Yeah, when you have like your whole time being with like horror gaming when you were little and all that stuff, you kind of get almost desensitized by today's horror as well because thinking about it, a lot of that stuff that's out now, even with the games like the ones that rely on jump scares, like Five Nights at Freddy's, don't hate me, because I know that's a popular
Mm,
game. But even then, it just gets kind of old pretty quick in comparison when you think about it. But I guess that depends on the person, you know?
at least it's not Slenderman.
Oh. Slender Man.
My God. The- No, those are the type of horrors that I really don't like because, okay, yeah, make the jump scare, but it's pretty cheap. The best horror would be actually the one that you make when you don't see a single time the monster. When you're scared to the point to pee yourself on the pants and you never see the monster. You just see the atmosphere, even just a little noise. That's the real horror. It's not like you turn boo, there is a jump scare. No, that's just really cheap.
I do remember one horror game I used to play on the PC that I thought was well crafted and I thought it was pretty creative at the time. It was called Call of Cthulhu Dark Corners of the Earth. It was also out on Xbox, but I played it on the PC and I thought it was very creative at the time and
I think to recall this name. I think
they
probably I had it too.
oh, did you?
Probably. I
Oh.
do probably because I remember something with Cthulhu also.
Well,
But
I
actually, you were supposed to, um, like spelling some Lovecraftian things for um, try to making pushing away these Lovecraftian monsters.
don't remember if that was the case in this game. What I did remember is that it did not have a heads up display. It doesn't show like how many bullets you have left for the gun or how much health you have. I do remember the screen getting fuzzy when every time you
Mm-hmm.
come across something supernatural or unsettling. So that I did remember, but other stuff I'm not sure.
Could it be actually it was a different one? Now that I remember, because I don't recall there was a gun in that game. It was on pixel art also.
No, it's not pixel. It's like old Half Life 3D almost.
Okay, okay, so in this case, there were two different games.
Yeah, but I thought it was pretty well made for the game. I mean, this was the first time we saw like a first person shooter that didn't have a lot of the stuff that you needed to know, like
Mm-hmm.
health and ammo and all that stuff. It's like the first thing you usually see in those type of games, but in this one you don't, like at all.
Mm, like a proper survival horror,
Yeah, a
actually, when
proper
you have
survival horror,
limited resources.
limited
Yeah, yeah.
resources as well. Yep, and I thought it did a good job at being doing the horror and all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff, and I enjoyed it. I mean, I sucked at it, but I did enjoy it. You know.
Yeah, well, yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. It makes, but you know, this is actually the true thing about if you think about that. Why actually is made a video games for fun in the first place? So it's actually their core reason of existence is for that. It's not for other reasons.
Oh, I agree. It's there to be fun, and yeah, some people like the challenge. I mean, I already know you like the
Like me,
challenge.
like me.
Yeah, like you. You always enjoyed a big challenge there. That's why you still torture yourself with.
Well, I wouldn't be a Dark Souls fan if I wouldn't be like that, don't you think?
Very true. But hey, you never know. Sometimes you gotta be in the know, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you want it to relax and take it easy, and that's
Yes.
fine.
Well, everyone have their way to enjoying the relaxing. I do relax having a challenge. But other or like, do you know actually Benja was saying? What I mean, I want to have a fun and I don't want to have an heart attack because I suggested him Dark Souls as a video game.
I mean, all Dark Souls is basically you just have to dodge at the right moment, fight at the right moment, and all that stuff. It's all about timing. I mean, yeah, there are some horror aspects to it too, but
Well,
most of it
well,
is about
yeah,
timing your
yeah.
actions.
Mm-hmm. Well, not if you're playing it when you have to do the parries.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you don't dodge all the enemies. Like all the enemies, you have the chance to do the parry. You do the parry, and you do not roll. Playing as a pyromancer, so you actually have the defense of a glass cannon. So you get a hit, you're dead.
Oh, goodness gracious.
But that's the funny thing for me that actually make it so fascinating. I mean, also the lore, especially the lore, but the fact that it is very procedural and learning. Actually, this is made for me to make it so appealing.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely yes. And speaking about the arcade, I don't. Yes, I mean, it's pretty much a reality. Then they are coming back. I mean, we saw pretty much a lot of arcade style game and came back have been released. There is also, if I don't remember wrong, also a Power Ranger arcade game that is supposed to be released probably in 2025, which is very similar to the one that Ninja Turtles made.
Ah, yes, going on to arcades and all that stuff. Yes, I do also believe that the arcades are making a bit of a comeback because I was this was a saying that most people might say what was old is new again, what's new is old, what's old is going to be new again. And I feel like that could apply for arcade gaming because let's
Mm-hmm.
be honest. I mean, heck, Sega, for example, they're still making systems, arcade systems. Like, they're not giving in on it at all.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see them giving it up either. I mean, and then you have other companies that are making systems like it as well, and it's just, huh. I do wonder if they are eventually going to. Oh, excuse me. I do wonder
It's
if
okay.
it's gonna make a big comeback, other than like the Dave and Buster's and all that stuff. Other than Dave and Buster's and all the other companies that are doing the whole bar and gaming combinations,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of makes you wonder, you know?
Well, I justified that return, both of the arcade but also the platform, for pretty much the what I said before, because when you start to having a market, the medium, how I call it, that is oversaturated with the same genre,
Mm-hmm.
you start to having a little bit of problem on the first side from a company side, because making let's make an example.
Yeah, go
You
ahead.
have a lot of games similar to Overwatch, for example.
Yes.
If you want to make a game similar to that, you have a competition and is extremely violent per se, because you have to put yourself in the market that is on the first place over over overwhelmed
Oversaturated?
with oversaturated, overwhelmed with titles that have been established for pretty much for a lot of years.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have a lot of games then of the same genre, and you start having a little bit of a problem, be like, why you wasted those money when you actually could have spent them for making something a little bit different, maybe, which also is, I mean, we also heard, for example, with Concord, what happened
Mm-hmm.
with um, putting aside the whole issues that there's been with the characters, all the problems in the mill. There's been also X Varan. There's been also another one. They fell also for the same reason. Now, if you put in the market something, or even Call of Duty that has been there for ages,
Mm-hmm.
so when you actually find some games that finally have, even if with an old concept, because let's be honest, the platform exists since ever, pretty much, before the 80s. So it's a genre old, even more than me. But when you have something different, you take it and you accept them like if they're a blessing coming from the sky.
Right. I agree with that
So
actually.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you have arcade and the platform then coming back, and even Astrobot. Astrobot, it's a platform. I hope it's not a big spoiler for everyone, but yes, it's a game of the year to 2024.
Oh, it's been days. I'm sure people already watched the Game Awards. So
Well, I hope so.
yeah.
but but here's the thing: you have not too long ago, the moment they heard the word platform, both players but also streamers be like, boring. I don't want to play platform. They kill the attention of my followers on Twitch, and now everyone is jumping of joy because the savior. Yes, you're saying is the savior, the same type of game that actually be like, but I'm so bored. Oh my god.
Well, if that happens and all that stuff, obviously they're doing something wrong, and it's not the game itself. Because
No, no, no. In
yeah,
fact, it's not that the game itself the problem. The
no,
problem itself is something bigger than that. Is the bigger picture. Then you don't have much variety anymore, because the moment you have, and this is something I feel might happen, and I'm really worried about that. The moment you have a type of game that has been successful, everyone gonna push it on that direction. It's been like that for Dark Souls. They've made a bunch of Dark Souls like,
oh
where
yeah.
the only passable has been Lies of P. That has been the one that has been fairly good compared to others.
Well,
You
I always did like one that was an animated Cold Vein. I'm sure you've heard of Cold Vein. You
Yeah, I
remember
do
Cold Vein?
remember. I recall it.
Yeah,
Yes, I never
I
played it,
thought
but
it did
I
pretty
heard of it.
decent personally, but that's just me. I always liked the style of Code Vein, and I also liked the character
Yeah,
creator.
but you it doesn't have the same energy atmosphere of a Dark Souls.
Hmm.
Even if is still Bandai Namco, but it doesn't feel exactly like that. Probably also the thing that is a little bit anime influence a little bit on that matter. But yeah, but also it's been the same thing before that. Do you remember um how was called it? Outlast?
Yes.
How many games have made on that track? They made
Games
a
like
bunch
Outlast.
of they made a bunch of Outlast like games. Now I'm a little more preoccupied that they will make a lot of Astrobot likes, so a lot of platform, to the point to having a market again saturated of platforms. It's not like if you have a title of success, all every company have to fill the market with that sub, because it is not necessarily going to work. It worked for Astrobot for different reasons, and it's not necessarily mean because that game was incredible. And I'm gonna say this: Astrobot is a good game. It's not bad.
No.
If I would say it's bad, I would make a huge disservice, and I'm not that type of person. Astrobot, on that matter, is a great game, because for the purpose they built it, it made an absolute great game. But if you have to consider an Astrobot with potentially another game, even if we want to accept um, a Final Fantasy Rebirth, or the entire Final Fantasy. So intergender rebirth and the one that will be the third chapter. that might be a little bit more complicated than actually Astrobot would be better than the whole Final Fantasy VII remake. But we have also to consider the circumstances actually Astrobot win, because that's been a great game, a great platform, but in the entire industry, it's been like fresh air. So this also is a reason that coming in for also getting the Game of the Award, but is not necessary than other games, even if structured like Astrobot would be successful, because we don't have they will not have the same premises that allowed Astrobot to becoming the Game of the Year 2024. So it really preoccupied me on that matter. I really hope actually we're not going to see a lot of platform trying to having the same success Astrobot had, or in the same attempt.
Well, when you think about it, their inspiration for Astrobot came from Nintendo platformers, specifically ones like Super Mario Galaxy, which at the time was pretty creative, and pretty much any other platformer that they made, again, at their time of release, was pretty creative.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't really see it that much anymore. At least 3D ones. 2D, yeah, they kind of still 2.5 and 2D. Yeah, those are still like around and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
as far as like games like Astrobot, and I guess if you want to look at Super Mario Odyssey, because it's been a long time since the game last appeared, and people still call for it as one of the best.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't be against platformers being a dominant genre, but that's only because I've seen too many FPSs being around the industry and too many trying to be Call of Duties and all that
Yeah.
stuff. And it kind of
Yeah.
gets,
Absolutely.
in a way, it's a bit frustrating to deal with, you know?
No, no, no. It is. I totally understand that. I mean, it would be actually if you're forced to eating uh, pasta and tomato sauce every day for an entire month, or actually for 5 months, and then the 6th month you got a lasagna.
Mm.
You jump on the lasagna, but the moment you actually you will start to eating lasagna every single day for other 6 months, you grow tired also of the lasagna. And if they give you pasta and tomato sauce, you will jump on that.
That's true.
So
That's very true.
to me I feel it is exactly that. The oversaturation of a type of game into the market is completely not a solution, and it's a failure from the start unless you are that good to make something that make it completely different or have revolutionary mechanics to make it unique. But this is most of the time not gonna happen.
No, it is one of those things where it's like, no, it's probably not going to happen, whatever you think about it and all that stuff. And it's just, eh, I don't know. It's a very fickle thing to think about, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
But in any case, let's see, where are we, next? What should we talk about next? Because I think we covered most two topics already.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Yeah, we covered two topics in one.
Yeah, that's the way we do it, right? Oh, all right. How about
We
some
got a
breaking
juicy one.
news?
We got the juicy one.
We do, guys. Let me switch to our little image here. breaking news.
Ba-da-bum-bum-bum-bum-bum. No, that was the Wii Sports music.
Oh, you're so hilarious. All right, let's go
But it
with
would
breaking
sound so great.
news. It does sound so
It
good.
sounds.
So, all right, so we've been looking at the news lately, and in particular that's got us in a bit of a worry is Power World, which also got some love at the Game Awards. Believe it or not, they got some announcements over there.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I posted an article from Niche Gamer. I'm gonna quote Niche Gamer because that's where I got it from. That supposedly a mechanic that they had on Power World has suddenly changed. You know, the
Mhm.
one where you have to throw a POW spear to capture the POW? That's not
Yes.
the case anymore. Now they changed
Mhm.
it back to like, oh, well, they changed it to something like now you hold it and then they come out, and then to capture
No,
them, you
no, no.
just.
They when they come out, they are pretty much at your side. Instead of you launching it and getting out where they were taking hold, they just appear at your side now.
Oh, yes, thanks for the correction. Yes, they changed that, and it got us thinking, okay, are they in verge of losing this lawsuit with Nintendo? And it kind of got me a bit concerned about that. So, what do you think, Fox?
I am the opinion that probably more than because we are still don't know yet how actually going the situation, but it could be maybe the people empowered also for avoiding to have little problems with that things or for trying to changing it if in case Nintendo lawsuit actually would having success. Probably they preemptively changed that thing for try to working on completing the game in peace.
You know, the funny part about this lawsuit is that there's three patents that they filed. Nintendo, that it is. They filed these patents, and it was like, these aren't patents that are old. They just made these patents. And
Hmm.
it makes you wonder, like, what in the world are they thinking here? Like, what are they trying to do? It just seems ridiculous to me that they're going to force Power World to change its gameplays and all that stuff, and I don't know. It just leaves a bad
Hmm.
taste, you know? It's a bad taste.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, it would it would be like if Call of Duty would make um would pretty much doing the same thing with the mechanics when you have to holding the weapon, uh putting like the weapon close the eyes for uh going in sniper mode and then shooting. If you hold that mechanic, you pretty much have a lot of games that use that same mechanic to what pay Capcom for. I mean, Call of Duty for releasing their game, or they pretty much have to shut down because they made that thing. To me, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense even because that mechanic, for example, and use Pokemon, where launching the ball, capture the Pokemon, etc., etc. I mean, we have, for example, Koromon, then it has that same mechanic, but instead of a ball, use how is called that thing? It's not a ball, but kind of like a sort of straight weird shuriken or a
No,
disc. I don't recall.
yeah, I don't recall it either.
No, but it's the same thing. You launch that thing for capturing the monster, and then if it has success, you capture. If it's fail, it's go back to the battlefield. But you have also this same mechanic from a video game that actually you recall pretty well.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. It's an indie game, and it's about ghosts. Do you remember
ah,
Ghost Watchers?
yes, Ghost Watchers. Yep.
Ghost Watchers also use a big ball, launch it against the ghost, and if you actually made all the right those things, you capture it. So what? Nintendo is supposed to suing, no, Nintendo, Game Freak and the Pokemon Company has to suing Game Watchers because they're using the same mechanics for capturing a ghost.
Yeah, and almost every other game that does the whole monster capturing mechanic the way Pokemon does it. Yeah, I would say they're looking at because these patents, like I said, they just filed these patents not too long ago. It's not like 2000 patents. This is like 2024 patents. They literally filed these patents just to protect their gameplay mechanics, and it's just I don't know. It just seems very
Well,
sneaky and very yeah.
in a matter of fact, they pointed their core mechanics because this is pretty much the core mechanics of Pokemon has. But the problem is that it is so generic and so used, probably even before that. And so it's really it's a little bit petty for try to stopping a company and going and try to going in that direction using legally weapons.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like the lawsuit that Sega tried to do with Crazy Taxi. You remember that
Mm-hmm.
one? I don't know if anyone remembers that one, but it's like the one where they try to do patents for the mechanics for Crazy Taxi
Mm-hmm.
and other games. I think they did successfully take down one game, The Simpsons Road Rage. I think they did somewhat successfully on that one, but it was also ruled that the mechanics itself were too generic, so they can't really copyright anything that's pretty generic when it
No,
comes to
yeah,
gameplay, you know?
yeah, no, no, absolutely right. But it's incredible generic. But even for the law, actually, how can you put it? Because here's a huge problem. The type of mechanics, especially for gameplay, is extremely delicate, and try to making lawsuit because of specific mechanics or core mechanics is kind of like try it's a little bit hard to try to demonstrate with actually they copied the same thing. But from my point of view, if it's inspired, I don't see where actually is a problem because let's be honest. Even if Palworld actually make a mechanic and it is similar to Pokemon, it's not necessary to be something negative for them. It's kind of like a sort of what actually did Astrobot, and they said they've been inspired by Nintendo for without saying Nintendo, of course, because damn damn rules. They cannot say other brand names. But it was clear it was referred to Nintendo. But I don't recall actually Nintendo suing Astrobot because they made a platform similar to the Mario games. It's been inspiring and also potentially bringing people to get curious to go buying and also recovering some of the video games made by Nintendo, their old platform for playing them, inspired for what actually Astrobot made. So Power, in this case, it could have been also the same thing, inspired by what actually Pokemon is been taking a all similar or different direction but nothing would denying also for people to catching the reference, getting also inspired, and deciding also to giving a chance to the Pokemon games if actually they're new to that brand. But no, they instead of being very much petty-ish and going like that. So you actually they passing for the baddies on my opinion.
And yeah, that's pretty much the problems these days. When companies want to get all Sue happy and all that stuff, and then heck, they still got the mechanic. Power World still got the mechanic of throwing the spear to capture the PAL. I mean, I know they
Mm-hmm.
haven't patented that yet, but you never know with Nintendo. They'll probably try to do it quick enough to make the game look bad enough for the
Mm-hmm.
lawyers and make it seem like it's a blatant copy. I mean, in any case, the fact that they have to remove that mechanic, it's pretty telling. I do not know if they have any plans to remove other mechanics to make it seem like Power World
Uh,
wasn't trying to copy Pokemon, but in
well,
any case,
like I said, we don't know it because,
we
and
no, we
probably
don't
we'll
know.
never know. Probably we will never know because those things are very private.
Yeah, I mean, it would be sad if they did lose, though. I will say.
Well, I mean, it could be also potentially then they arrive to um not like arrive at a decision, but maybe they had like a little chat with some manager of Pokemon Company, and I'm doing speculation, huh? It's
Mm.
speculation. Maybe they got a meeting with some of the Pokemon Company's management, and found an agreement about some points eventually to um, changing it and avoiding it completely the lawsuit and such, and um, ending the things peacefully. It could also be that.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're just gonna have to wait and see for them.
Yeah, or yeah, or at least when they will be made public. But I keep saying to me, since the start of that thing has been really stupid to make,
Yeah, I
really
mean,
stupid.
what can you do? I mean, this is corporate greed at work, pretty much.
Well, yeah, but it's a matter of fact. Also, censorship pretty much never help anyone and
No.
never made things better. They actually exasperated and made them worse.
Well, what can you do, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And now let's see. We have other news, other spicy news.
And this one is stinky, but
Oh
a
yeah.
lot stinky.
This involved the website of Itch.io. For a while now, it's been at least around the early morning. The website has been taken down, apparently due to some AI powered brand protection software that created a phishing report to their registrar, who ignored their response and just disabled their domain. And this is from what Itch.io pretty much said from their end what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, in the way they went about it was pretty suspect. And this was
Mm-hmm.
Funko Pop that actually requested this, but they used Brand Shield Limited, which is the AI tech thing that protects the brand protect that made the brand protection software. But here's the
Damn you,
sneaky
Funko
part.
Pop.
They pretty much they did claim to Ichio to that they sent a takedown request to their
Yeah.
registrar instead of filing a DMCA, which that's not how it's supposed to work, you know?
No, it totally doesn't supposed to work like that.
No.
Absolutely not. But it's even stupid on the first place.
There we go.
No. Oh, hey,
We have
welcome.
our special
Well,
guest.
Yeah, we have our welcome Rena Sukino.
well, no, it's more now. It's Lena Kadoya, basically.
Oh, it's Lena now. Well,
Yeah.
You're not
It's
getting
Lena.
twin now.
No, just needed a new name.
Ah, so it's Lena.
Yeah. Actually, let me go ahead and tune
So
in.
pretty those years. They're
Yeah.
so fluffy.
Yeah, don't mind me. I just got back from celebrating anniversary.
Oh yes,
It's a-
congrats on that, by the way.
Oh, thank
Happy
you.
anniversary.
Good 12 years, really.
Oh yes, that's a good time. I mean, it's not
Uh-huh.
every day that people go past 5 too these days.
Oh, yeah.
And on that
There we go.
occasion, let's make a huge kisses to Koi for the happy anniversary. We love you, Koi. We're live on
Uh,
Twitch.
Yeah, let's see. Give me a sec. Let me go ahead and give.
No, by the way, I was saying that is this the entire way actually they took this thing is so stupid because on the first place, if you actually have a video game that even been doing stuff using the Funko Pops without the permission,
Right.
you actually put down the game. You don't put down the entire platform. Just
Uh-huh.
like for when the day after, the day after, the day before has been released. After the scandal, I don't recall that actually the entire Steam or Valve has been forced to closing Steam because of that game.
Uh-huh.
They closed the game on single, not the entire platform.
Right.
No, but the way they pretty much went about it, they just went to, instead of doing the DMCA claim, they went all the way to the registrar. Now, people are wondering how incompetent the company has been, or are they just lying about their intentions? Because the way they tried to so-called, quote-unquote, apologize to Ichio, they were trying to blame Ichio for the whole thing. And that pretty much pissed me off at the same time. They're like, oh yeah, we remain committed to supporting our clients by identifying potential digital threats and infringements. We encourage platforms to implement stronger self-regulation systems that prevent such issues from escalating. And it's like, what? Are you fucking kidding me about this? Like,
But since when? Since when? Now a platform is responsible for the single person mistake. Just saying. If you have some person on Twitch, for example, then is doing something that go against the law, do people actually going to close the entire Twitch, or just the channel of that streamer? In this case, because go against the law, eventually would close the account of for uh, regulation and such, but the only one shutting down would be the channel, not the entire Twitch. So really, in that case, still, it's not supposed to be like H to closing down entirely, but even if H is eventually supposed to controlling, but I mean seriously, are we supposed to um, taking granted that actually each year would be able to checking every single game into the platform that has been uploaded there? It would be impossible to do that. It would be completely impossible. That's why if something, the main responsibility is going for the single person, not the platform per se.
Okay, there we go.
welcome back.
Welcome back.
Oh, yep. Yeah, I was trying to fix the audio on my headset, my headphones, but I guess this one the cord's going out, so
Oh dang, yeah, I have a same issue somewhat.
yeah.
You got the
But you should
headset
be
from
good. We hear
Sony.
you all. Yeah.
Oh, well, no, I mean, I'm talking through the mic. It's just the fact that the headset I'm using for the earphones and the headphone, like, to hear the audio is like, yeah, starting to mess up.
It's all good.
But yeah.
Lena, admit it. You've been bought by Sony. Those are your sets from Sony.
No, the headset I'm using is basically an old Diva headset I had when I was on PlayStation.
Of course,
Yeah.
dear. It's great you're using Diva.
Oh
We're
yeah,
all Diva. We're
she's
all
been
divas.
my.
Both me and you. And our Ray is the lucky one gentleman between the two divas of the program. Yes.
Yeah, because of the picture. Yeah, we got the breaking news, and all three of us are on it, and all three of our avatars are on it. So, yeah.
Yes. Oh, there we go. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I had to tune into the stream too. You know. Actually, you know what? I may as well copy. Yes.
And let's see. So as far as the Itch.io stuff, I thought that was pretty sneaky of Funko to do it. I thought it was pretty sneaky of the company that they hired to do this, to try to take them down and all that stuff. And it was really unnecessary, and it was so sneaky. And the way they went about it was a mess. And now it doesn't. Now it's like people. If y'all hate Funko even more, I don't blame you. I hate them too. So I think they're like wannabe Nendoroids that are trying to be Nendoroids, but they're not Nendoroids. They're just cheap plastic figurines that are full of crap. Okay, I'm done with my rant there.
It happens.
It also something, because if you think about it, they cause a big damage on Ichio. So I think it might be not that far fetched to see Ichio going against the Funko Pop, because they made legit damage on their side, especially because they made them this AI that they used, so it's considered as their property. They actually cause harm on a platform when instead they were supposed to hunting unquote the single person. So on this matter, and with that, of course, they cause a legit damage. So if I would be on H, I would even go against Funko Pop and try a little bit of sue, maybe.
Yeah, I would sue them, and I would sue Brand Shield, because they're the ones that were hired to do it, and they're the ones that are saying sorry, not really sorry, and it's like, ugh. I don't know.
And with that matter, if you guys of Ichio are watching, if you win the show, please remember us. Love you.
Yes, do please remember us, because we are on your side for this whole thing. And also, fuck Funko Pop. So there. Oh, see how we get all over opinionated in this joint. We do.
Yeah, then again, I don't really collect very many of the Funko Pops myself, so.
I used to, but then I realized I'd rather have Nendoroids at this point because of their quality.
Yeah.
The high quality and all that stuff. Yeah. I mean, it's the only shame that they have. Speaking of, because I know they changed their packaging recently to cover the figurine and all that stuff, so now you can't even really see it. It's just a box with their artwork and all that stuff. And then if you want to see their Nendoroid in question, you have to unpack it and put it together yourself and all that stuff. A shame that they did that, but I do understand their position on it to somewhat, not really, but somewhat kill off the reselling markets. In a way, they are kind of losing money from it, but in the other way, I mean, in a way, it's also free advertising for them. But what do you two think about that? Pretty much.
I want to hear from Lena first.
Yeah, Could you repeat the question? I was trying to get a
Oh
little
yeah, so
post in that way.
the people that make the
Oh
Nendoroids,
yeah.
I hope I do. So they recently changed their packaging to from clear plastic to like all. Now they cover the
Yeah.
entire figurine, so you can't even see it from the box. So now to
Yeah.
see it, yes,
I I don't know. I always liked the fact that I could see the figure in the packaging. Really, I mean, when you cover it up, it's like, is it really in there? Are they like some? And I also feel it can also like help like people who want to steal them. Like put something else in there. Whatnot.
I completely agree on that, but it's also reminding me like if you order something on a fake e-price,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and you order something heavy like um for example, you want to get a new graphic card, then you open the packet, you find inside a little piece of brick. To me, the fact that it is covered, I don't like it at all, because I am for the transparency. If
Yeah.
my if my top actually wouldn't be clear on that matter, I am for transparency because I want to see actually if before buying a product, if that
Mhm.
product is exactly like I want it, or if has something messed up, or if I want voluntarily taking it even with the defects, but I might have all the right to say, look, this thing I'm going to buy it, but it's a little bit not that well, so probably I might taking it, but for a little lower price. So but covering it completely, I don't like it because it could be hiding something. If you have something to hide, and to me, it kind of like feel very suspicious.
no, that's a good points to make. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, I do wish that they have the old style packaging with the plastic and all that stuff where you can see. But at the same time, I mean, I can understand why they wanted to go all full coverage and all that stuff. I mean, it's pretty much the problem with collectibles. I mean, this is a problem that people had with like WWE figures or Barbie dolls or even Gundams that you build and all that stuff. Yeah, there's always an
Oh
issue
yeah,
with that.
yeah.
Sometimes they want people to appeal to the collectors, the kidults and all that stuff coming in the industry and buying all their stuff, but then at the same time you don't want people to rely on third party sellers. It's kind of like a constant
Mhm.
war between the company and third party sellers because hell, I mean, the way MGA did the Bratz collaboration with Mean Girls, because I'm sure people has heard of that. It was a mess, obviously. Nothing but bots, and more bots buying up the entire. What's the word I'm looking for?
Uh. Oh God.
The entire
I'm.
inventory. Well,
Yes.
close enough. You have the bots buying the entire inventory, and then they try to prevent that, but aren't really doing a good job at it. And then you have those that just wants to like genuinely get it,
Mhm.
and now they can't get it because of these bots. So it's like you have all these reasons why they go with whatever packaging that they have going. You know, there's like a multitude of reasons why they decided and all that stuff. Ah, and welcome
Mhm.
to
We
Koi
got a goblin
Frostax.
raid.
Yep.
No, 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 not all together. Ah!
Goblin
I'm
raid.
covered with goblins.
Yep. Yep.
Yes, much
Damn you,
appreciated.
Koi. Hashtag damn you, Koi.
Oh my goodness. All right, so I think we covered most of the news so far. I'm not
hmm
sure if we have anything else news wise. I mean, I could check, some websites, but I don't know. Oh, Oh yeah, I think I told you about this already, Sammy. The because this was like the TGA related and all that stuff. You know, the creator that I told you about, the creator of Black Myth Wukong, the
Wukong.
developer CEO,
Mhm.
Game Science's CEO. He said he wrote the acceptance speech for Game of the Year 2 years ago, and now
Ooh.
questions the selection criteria of the Game Awards in rant.
Well, I mean, I don't blame them. It's like,
Well, I mean, considering everything is not the only one having a little bit of critiques, com-
hmm,
com- considering everything, because even like we talking about the last episode, there's been
hmm,
the major, my major concern, the fact to adding if really was supposed to go DLC on a different category, remake and remastered on a different one, and not making all together to all for the game of the awards. This has also been the main topic of critiques. Even with also that there was also the conflict of interest with some of the journalists in the gaming industry, being like, considering the what happened also with the Dragon Age of Velgard things, with the lot of 10 that has been given. Sometimes you feel like, probably it's not like that much of I'm going to listening to them because I don't trust them that much. But there are the 90% for the voting for something that actually should be voted by the gamers,
right.
because it's it's an award for games that are made for gamers, not for 80 years old people that stay behind behind a desk and probably haven't touched the game since 8 years.
Since Commodore era, basically.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Now, as far as I do think it's kind of wild that they did make this speech like 2 years ago, but at the same time, I mean, sometimes you gotta be prepared. Hey, being that prepared that far, I don't find it to be much of a fault.
hmm
Personally, I mean, yeah, okay, 2 years. It does seem kind of okay, a bit egotistical to expect that you get Game of the Year, your game in particular, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, is it really that bad to be that prepared?
Well, I mean, consider I don't think actually Wukong or the developer behind Wukong should be sad or angry or anything, because let's face it, player voice, which is 100% up to us, made Wukong the best game of the year,
hmm
and that's a fact. So and there were a lot and there were a lot of games. There was also the Resident Evil, not Resident Evil. I mean Silent Hill 2. Confusing the two. I'm sorry. I apologize for the Resident Evil and the Silent Hill fans.
It's
Oh,
all right.
jeez.
Silent Hill 2. Then there was a Final Fantasy 7. There was the Elden Ring DLC. There were a lot of games, and among the metaphor also was there. So there were a lot, and among them, Wukong won. So this is already a win, because that vote is completely purged from politics, and sometimes because let's face it, sometimes the decision is also made for politics reasons, which not always is a bad thing, but is not necessarily mean it has to accept
Oh,
the
there we go.
taste or the subjectivity uh, of the jury that would match the same for the gamers. So on that matter, like Wukong won for the people. They won, and that thing mattered even more.
Hmm.
At the, if not even more, but at the same level also of the year, because it's an award made for the gamer, and that's something then uh, the staff of Wukong shouldn't undervalue or underestimate.
And I would also like to add that they also won Best Action Game, and they were nominated for Art Direction, and of course, Game of the Year. It
Mm-hmm.
is a first for a Chinese-made game. That's something to point out because that's it's almost a rarity to see a Chinese
Oh.
developer win
It's
such
the first
awards.
time
Yeah,
also
it
that
would
they
be the
appear.
first time for them, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So for them to win at least 2 awards, especially for Best Action and, of course, Player's Voice, that's impressive feat for them.
Yeah,
I think it's
Hmm.
impressive enough.
absolutely. So big kudos and congratulations to the developer and the studio behind Black
There we
Myth
go.
Wukong.
Yeah, the game science. That's what they're called, game science. Yep. So congratulations to them and all that stuff. And I
Yeah.
do know that the CEO of Game Science, that's the one that I was talking about, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I know he
Hmm.
said he has seen a lot of strong dissatisfaction and frustrations in the players' comments. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Hmm.
they are pretty much right. And he has seen it himself with the review bombing of Baldur's Gate on 3.
Oh.
That's what he's seen it from there.
Hmm.
But he does, and he pretty much understands our frustrations when it comes to some of this decision making, especially for the, Elden Ring's DLC being part of GOTY. So,
Right.
and yes, San.
You're not the one, guys. We're with you. We're on your side.
But yeah, as far as Black Wukong's success, it's definitely not a fluke. I agree with that. It was an
Hmm.
outcome. I saw the outcome. The industry is changing. Let's put it
Yeah.
there. It is changing. A lot more Chinese-based games, Chinese culture, talent, the business environment, everything's changing. With their
Mm-hmm.
studios now pretty much bringing their games to us and everywhere else in the world, and it's like we're gonna see a lot more creativity on their end. So, and I definitely would like to see more from Game Science and every other company that they either associate with or work with, bringing their creativity to the Americas. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they have coming up next after
Yeah.
Wukong.
We also have to consider something about that, even because of also that matter. We also have to state something, and to me, is kind of like relevant on that matter. We have from pretty much the east side of the world and is exploding about the creativity on the video games. Where actually
Right.
the the West, the Occidental part of the world, so
Hmm.
American and such, is kind of like slowly dying.
Right.
And how so?
Hmm.
Well, I mean, consider also the various a little bit unsuccessful things Ubisoft and Sony has been doing pretty much, and also the fact that a lot of video games, creatively speaking, are revamped or same patterns of video games already used over and over, and people want desperately something new, something fresh. And I think on the west side is not it is walking a little bit slower and is not following the trend.
Right.
Very true. And that kind of dwells on to the next topic that we got going: what to expect from gaming in 2025, next year.
Oh my god.
Hmm.
So, everyone,
Oh
I
my
mean, well,
god. I
you
already.
two
Uh,
specifically, but it's like, what are we going to see happen for gaming overall in 2025? What are we going to expect? What are we guessing is going to happen? Uh, what do you
Elden
think
Ring
all these
Night
companies are
Rain.
going to bring?
Um,
So, I mean, we'll start with you, Sammy, if you'd like to go first.
Elden Ring Night Rain. I I am excited for that one.
You're excited for
I legit.
Elden Ring Night Rain.
Mm-hmm. It, it's gonna be an incredible because I watched the video and also the question for the interview that was made. Man, is really interesting to read, and the type of because they're still working on that, but the Elden Ring Night Rain. I am excited, but I'm also really preoccupied because it's something very new from software. Because is
hmm.
what pretty much a good, potentially a good or even great roguelike game could be in Elden Ring Souls.
Hmm.
And you know me, you know my love for for the roguelike. Think about the Binding of Isaac. I've been there stuck for ages.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, then again, you did do like starting the
Vampire
whole like
Survivors.
whole story fanfic story of your Dark Souls 3 playthroughs
Mm-hmm.
too.
Oh,
So,
but this one, this one for Night Rain, um, they've been very clear. Is not it's pretty much a standalone, and is not walking on the same Elden Ring story saga. Is going on more like a what if or a story completely separate from that.
right.
And what about you, Lena? What do you see coming in
Oh,
2025
well,
or as far
let's
as
see.
gaming?
Let me pull out the old Chris Jericho style list.
Of course you do.
Okay. Well, let's see. Outer Worlds 2, even though I didn't really finish the first one yet. The fact that the studio behind Yakuza actually taking up the oop, damn. Actually taking up the Retro Fighter series, one of my favorite fighting game series basically.
Mm, yeah,
Which, yeah,
it's also
I'm
close to
happy.
coming out. It's been also been seeing the trailer from the Guinea Award.
Yeah, let's see. Actually, I think I know there's more. I'm just trying to remember off the top of my head. And then what I saw at the Game Awards that night,
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
it's like, uh. But yeah, those are the only two I can think of. I can remember off the top of my head, really.
Well, I mean, there will be also finally arriving for PC, a Final Fantasy VII
Oh yeah,
second
yeah.
part.
Assuming my computer can handle that.
For this one, I don't know, but I I hope mine would be even able to playing it, even if at minimum.
Yeah.
Ninja Gaiden also.
Oh yeah, I think I saw that on YouTube though, like a
The new
video.
Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah.
Yes,
Hmm.
Ragebound.
Hold on.
Yeah, they're the character. It's a Metroidvania set in the Ninja Gaiden universe, pretty much. At least that's how it looks like for me. But it is. But the original Ninja Gaiden, it was pretty much quote unquote a Metroidvania in its own. I mean, it's a side scroller
Hmm.
primarily, but it does have its Metroidvania roots as well. So they pretty much went back to their roots with that game.
Okay, there we
Yeah,
go. Sorry about that. I
It's
had
all
to
right.
deal with RL,
it's
so
alright, it's
yeah.
alright, it's alright.
It's all right.
Strange, by the way, for the timing, considering the successful Astrobot, you know?
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Actually, that's another thing that we get into as far as 2025 in gaming is concerned. Because not only are they're bringing, a lot of companies are bringing back older IPs and even doing remasters of older IPs, including
Yeah.
Capcom. Capcom is bringing,
Oh,
even
yeah.
Capcom announced that they're even going to, a lot of dormant IPs that they own are going to bring them back in the new
Yeah.
year and maybe possibly even past the new year. So
Hmm.
it'd be nice to see a lot of their old IP make a return.
I
And I
mean,
do
like,
hope so that they make a return as well.
yeah, like Onimusha and Okami, really.
Ah, yes, the Okami sequel and Onimusha.
Please give it
Yes.
another. Please give it another name. I don't want to see. I don't want to see when actually it has to be released. Okami sequel. Call it another way.
I mean, I'm
I'm
pretty
sure.
sure they're going to
I'm
call it
sure that's.
Okami 2.
Yeah, I think that's just a working title right now until
Yeah.
more development is in play.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I don't think they really have a story to go on, at least. But we'll have to see what comes up.
Well,
I'm curious. I'm really curious.
oh, yeah. I'm also curious about what they're going to bring back. And heck,
Oh, yeah.
also, let's see, as far as everyone else is concerned, I do want to see Valve make more titles. I would like to see them make more titles again. They've been kind of dormant lately.
Yeah,
Even if it is
I
Half-Life 3. I know that's
yeah.
probably never going to happen, but I do want them to make more products. Other than, technology and stuff. I want to see them make more games in the future. Hopefully we'll see
you know the saying, Valve can't really count to 3.
That's true. And as far as 2025 is concerned, I would like to see more genres. I mean, more genres of video games taking over. I mean, not just fighting and shooting and all that stuff. We might see more platformers thanks to Astrobot's success. I want to see some niche, niche, right?
Yeah, niche. Yeah,
I want to see more niche genres make a comeback as well. So that would be something nice to see in 2025.
Yeah.
Further, and I'm pretty much that's it on my end as far as I'm concerned.
We cannot forget also something that probably what might be a really big surprise. By the way.
Oh really?
Huh?
Yeah. Do you recall the Project Century?
Ah.
Oh yeah. Yes. From same same studio as
Yes, Yakuza.
Yeah. I am legit thrilled to see what actually this Project Century is.
It reminds me of a lot of the Gundams, actually. Thinking about it.
Project Century.
To me, it
I thought
actually reminded
another one. I don't remember.
No, you're thinking of Mecha Break, I think.
To me,
Yeah,
it
you're thinking of
actually
Mecha Break. Yeah,
reminded-
because the whole what was it? Shoot, they showed a lot during the war.
They did.
Yeah.
They did.
To me, it
But yeah.
reminded me a lot of the Mafia, but in Japan, in the old Japan.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well.
And there is a lot of blood,
Mhm.
a lot of violence. We waited.
Oh
for
wait,
this.
speaking of Mafia, didn't I think they also showed the scenes for the new Mafia game that's supposed to come out.
Yes, the Old Country. Mafia, the Old Country. I'm looking forward to that one as well. I've recently got the trilogy on my library, which sold. It was a really low price at the time, and I was impressed. So I had to get it because I want to get all 3 anyways. So definitive editions, obviously. Well, we could probably get into that later once we talk about the Game Awards. We are now at the Game Awards reaction. And speaking of that, let me switch to our screen. There we go. The Game Awards 2024 reactions.
Oh, there we go. Yes.
Yep, as you can see right there, that's
Woohoo!
our
We're back.
next topic is what we think of the winners, what was revealed, and all that stuff. Uh, do you want to, y'all? Should we go over the esports and the creators, or should we just skip that?
Well,
I mean,
Not
there are
sure if
two,
I have.
two new awards that they revealed: the Game Changer and the Global Gaming Citizens. So there's just basically to honor those that are helping out the industry in troubling times. Like Amir
Yeah.
Sadvat, for example, he won Game Changer because he was helping people out during the mass layoffs that were happening in
Yeah.
the last couple of years. So that was pretty cool of him to do, and honestly, respect to him. Respect to him for that. I like that. I want to see more of that happening in the industry.
yeah.
By the way, I have to admit, I love the new studio.
Which new student? Ah, you're talking about the
Our,
picture.
of course, you said it.
Well, of course. I mean, heck, it was nicely done and creatively made.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's get through these awards. So we already talked about Player's Voice, and I'm sure we all are pretty much unanimous that Black Myth Wukong deserved Player's Voice.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yes.
Yes.
Absolutely, yes.
So I guess the first one we can go through is most anticipated game. The one that won was Grand Theft Auto 6. Out of all of them and all of them that was on the decision, like, what did y'all think of that?
And I'm very preoccupied.
Let's see.
I don't get me wrong. I would be excited, but I would be a little bit preoccupied with the with our current era, you know, because GTR has never been a game that has been soft on that matter. It's been ironic also a lot of time, also been always on the line to not being doing like black humor or racist humor and such, but
Oh yeah.
it's also been like the funny thing of GTA, how actually um, they make their type of games and all such very lightweight. But I am worried because there is a lot of, that feeling when you have to be scared to say something that probably might offend someone else. So I kind of like worried that GTA might losing that irony a little bit on limit sometimes in favor to being more unquote clean or socially acceptable and all such
Thank you
things.
for the lurk, Two Gun Bob. Sorry, just to understand, I just got a lurk alert.
Oh, nice.
Much appreciated.
And enjoy the lark, Gun Bob.
All right, how about you, Lena? How did you feel about?
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, sorry. I almost thought I was gonna sneeze there.
It's all right.
Honestly, I'm trying to remember who else was in that category.
It's
But
Metroid
it's
Prime.
Okay, we know you.
Hard Prime.
Beyond,
Okay, yeah.
Metroid Prime 4, Ghost of Yoite, Death Stranding 2, and Monster Hunter Wilds.
Man.
There was also The Last of Us 2 remake.
Oh,
Yeah.
PC finally.
I mean, as far as Last of Us, really, quote, anticipating that, because I don't know, I kind of stopped after playing the first game. So, but yeah, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, And there is also the
Well, then
new.
again, I mean, as far as
Mhm.
GTA 6 winning, yeah, you are gonna have those fans that do play.
There
So,
was also the new Naughty Dog project, the Intergalactic Diaretic Prophet.
oh yeah, 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 yes,
Ah, that's the one I'm looking forward to most personally. I mean, but that's
yeah,
like years away, obviously. So I think
oh
this
Mm-hmm.
is
yeah.
a title that they award to games that are coming out like in 2 years or 1 year. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But
Hmm.
yeah, I could see as far as GTA 6 getting it for myself. It was okay. I mean, I do want to. See, I wanted to see. Personally, I wanted to see Ghost of Yoite get it, but
Hmm.
or hell, even my bias with Nintendo Metroid Prime 4. But GTA 6,
Yeah.
I mean, well, I mean, it's not a surprise. It's like whatever,
Hmm.
you know. And I do hope that they keep everything that they showed on the trailer accurate in the game, obviously. And hopefully they don't change a damn thing. That would be disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
All
Yeah,
right.
but because it
Oh,
was the style of it's always been the style of GTA.
Hmm.
true.
Hmm.
All right, and let's go for the next award, Best Adaptation. So, out of all the choices, Arcane, the animated series, Knuckles, the television series, Like a Dragon Yakuza, another television series, Tomb Raider, The Legend of Lara Croft, a cartoon that they made for Netflix, and Fallout from Amazon Studios, based on the Fallout, obviously. That's the eventual winner of
Hmm.
Best Adaptation, and I have to say I agree with that, actually. I have watched the show and loved watching it, been binge watching it in comparison to the other ones that were featured. And I definitely agree with this decision due
Hmm.
to my
Mm-hmm.
binging. And what about you two?
All right. Well.
Me too. Me too. Especially because how faithful has been the Fallout on TV has been like
Hmm.
incredible. Without it's not saying that the others been less faithful or such, but you know, Fallout is one of those series that is uh, pretty much you have a fan base incredibly strong, and it's kind of like hard to having people that don't know Fallout or eventually like Fallout. And the fact that actually that same fan base from the game actually enjoyed so much the TV series to the point they want to also make a Fallout 2. I think they also presented it um, when they won award, and I think on that is really well deserved. When probably for Arcane, I think it was a fair competitor for that one.
Mm-hmm.
For the others, probably is a little bit like a minor fan base. It could eventually for the Yakuza game, because Yakuza games are a little bit more complicated. In fact, there is it's that type of game when or you like it or you hate it. So there is nothing in between. So and it split quite a bit, especially the first Yakuza games. So is it's kind of like relegated a little bit with a shorter fan base, and probably the television series has been followed by less of them probably.
And how about you, Alita?
Let's see. Well, I mean, I haven't really seen although watch actually.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. As far as Fallout, I've heard from Boy, yeah, they actually did pretty good on following the source material. Really, I mean, but nothing doesn't really look honest. See, as far as let's see, Yakuza, yeah, I'm pretty much anticipating on watching that one too. Considering I got like most of the series on Steam. Yeah.
And you are actually one of those players that played the Yakuza since the first one, since the Yakuza 0.
Yeah.
And it's been fascinating since the start of the series.
Yeah.
So you actually are a survived fan of Yakuza.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true.
You survived the Yakuza until now for telling us you survived. Congrats, Arena. Congrats, Arena.
Alright, and that takes us to our next category, which is innovation in accessibility. Basically, it's a game that pretty much makes it accessible to everyone and, try to make it playable for like those that have conditions and all that such. So that's an award that they give to games like that, which is really good. I think it's a pretty good topic and all that stuff, and it's really great that they consider those that are like colorblind, for example, to play these games. So in innovation and accessibility, it was Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Diablo 4, Vessel of Hatred, Dragon Age, The Veilguard, Star Wars Outlaws, and the eventful winner was Prince of Persia The Lost Crown from Ubisoft.
Well, I mean, it's quite good. I'm happy for actually the Ubisoft won this one because Star Wars Outlaw for me has a lot of defects. More defects than actually could be able to saving it for that nomination. Call of Duty, stop with the Call of Duty. We're tired of them. Enough for the Call of Duty. I don't want to think of Call of Duty ever again.
Oh, God.
Let's. I'm gonna make a bold statement. Let's make a petition for having no more Call of Duty for the Game Awards ever again.
Oh, I don't think that's gonna be possible.
But no, for being more serious, for Call of Duty, you know how I think. It's always the same game, even if you make a story a little bit different. The mechanic is always the same. Is nothing that different or revolutionary for that matter. Diablo 4, I think could have been a good choice for that. In fact, my vote for that one. For Dragon Age Veilguard, no. Straight, no. Straight, absolutely no.
And what
So
about
I'm fine with that.
and Lena?
Honestly, I don't really have any.
No thoughts? You still there?
Well, better no thoughts.
Yeah.
Better no thoughts than Dragon Age Veilguard. Is just saying.
I mean, yeah, I've kind of been some indie game.
That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And now,
So
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, so it's like I haven't really been game.
Mm-hmm.
Although I am hoping to play Indiana Jones game.
Oh, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
And that takes us to the best multiplayer game. Obviously,
Hmm.
best one that has the best multiplayer modes and all that stuff. And yes, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is on here.
Wait, do
uh,
people have
But
friends? Gamers have
but guess
friends?
but
Really?
guess what? But guess what? The democracy won.
Democracy
Oh,
one.
Garcia. Ah,
So the
jeez.
rest of the games besides Black Ops 6, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Tekken 8, and Warhammer 40K, Space Marine 2. The
Hmm.
winner was Helldivers 2. Arrowhead Game Studios and Sony Interactive Entertainment, they were voted best multiplayer game, or
Hmm.
won the award rather. So now, as far
Mm-hmm.
as I'm concerned, now this is just my opinion. I am surprised that they won because I thought they did give up on this game earlier, honestly. So I wasn't even sure that people were still playing it.
Hmm.
To my surprise, people are still playing it. But that's not a bad thing, I guess, because Helldivers 2 did bring something, I guess, good to the genre, so I'm not too much against it. I thought it was well deserving. I did vote for Super Mario Party Jamboree for this one, but I'm okay with this outcome personally. And
Mm-hmm.
how about you two?
Rena, go first.
Let's see. The mass appeal for Helldiver 2. I mean, and again, I don't really think I'd be able to play it. As for the others, kind of got bored with Call of Duty. Really, too much of the grind, and yeah, I don't really have much on the others.
Samantha?
The only thing that I'm gonna say is, brothers and sisters, join me in democracy and freedom against the Call of Duty. F you, Call of Duty. Join me, all hell divers, for freedom.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Mm.
But no, I'm happy. I'm really happy. Helldivers have won. I would have hoped eventually, other than Helldivers, to see also Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 having a little bit of shine. But there is a little bit of common problem on that, and probably all 40k fans probably know about that. And it's that thing. All the game recently for 40k, you know, has been released with the Space Marine. Now, I am a big. I'm gonna say very straightforward. I'm not a fan of the Space Marine. I'm an all-time Necron fangirl, and I'm gonna say something that pretty much every single 40k game based on Space Marine start to getting a little bit tired. At least I would say, if you really want to do something of the lore, man, do something that is not about only the Space Marine. The lore of Warhammer 40k is so huge that just blocking it for the Space Marine is a waste. Do also the lore through other races. Do it with the orcs, with the Eldar. They, help me. I hate the Eldar. Even the Tau Empire, for as much as weird may sound, but do the lore through something different than Space Marine, because all the games has been done with them. They've done this, they've been Gladius, there've been a bunch of games, all based with Space Marine. I wish, and not just saying for myself, I wish a Warhammer 40k based on the same premises done for the Space Marine, but with the Necron. I want the Necron. Viva Necron and Viva the democracy, the necromancy. I want really, but at the end of the day, I'm happy actually won Divers.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, I thought so. It was a okay choice as well.
You were laughing.
Yeah, for a
You
bit.
you were laughing at. I can see your smile.
Oh, I'm sure. All right, let's see. So the next one is best sports game slash racing game. So all the for all the nominees: F1 24, NBK 2K25, Top Skin 2K25, WWE 2K24, and the winner was EA Sports Football Club 25.
Of course,
Of course. I mean,
of
I don't really play
course.
much sports games, so I really just gave it to WWE game. I mean, obviously,
Me,
because wrestling
me
fan.
too.
So
Me
I,
too.
I mean, I'm surprised he did not win it, considering. But it's not really much a the sports racing games award is not really one I pay much attention to personally. But that's just me.
Yeah, people play with it. It's the major esport game played by most people.
Hmm.
Soccer,
Yeah. No
soccer,
thoughts,
football.
Lena.
That
Nah, no thought.
All right, we can
Sports
move.
myself, so.
Uh, we can move on to our next one, best sim strategy game. So we had Kunitsugami, Path of the Goddess, Manor Lords, Unicorn Overlord, and Age of Mythology Retold. The winner was Frostpunk 2 by 11-Bit
I've
Studios.
been surprised. I've been really surprised for that. I've been really surprised about that because I played Frostpunk 2. Compared with the first, it's it felt a little bit meh. The first one was much better on that matter. That's why I also gave the vote to Age of Mythology. Because me personally playing it, it didn't give me the same vibes of the first one. This kind of surprises. Probably I'm not good at judging things that I played, but not always. That no on that matter, and don't get me wrong, it's not like Frostpunk 2 sucks completely. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is from the expectation I had with the first, the second is the second has been a little bit lower expectation than I got after I played it compared to the first one. But that doesn't mean it's a bad game. It's a great game. Absolutely. Now, Rena.
Um, I had to make sure my mute button wasn't on. Let's see. In terms of strategy, I'm not too good on those. So, but although, um, yeah, Frostpunk really there's a good difference between like, and so.
You never played a strategy game. How is that possible?
Unless you count Wars and I think a bit of back in the
Huh.
day.
Oh, not even Command and Conquers.
Not Command and Conquer, or
And StarCraft.
nah. I suck. I suck.
Oh my god. Oh my god. This require a deep introduction to those type of games from me then.
Jesus.
I mean, hell, I never even played. So,
Oh my god.
All right. We got our thoughts about that one. That moves
Mhm.
on to the next one. Best family game. Obviously, a game for family that everyone can play. Uh, we had The Legend of Zelda's Echoes of Wisdom, The Plucky Squire, Princess Peach Showtime, and Super Mario Party Jamboree as the nominees, but the winner was Astrobot from Team Asobi Sony Interactive Entertainment. I was a bit surprised that they win this one because traditionally it was always a Nintendo game that wins Best Family Game. But it is very telling to see Astrobot winning this award specifically because it does show that they are willing to appeal to the kids as well and all that stuff. But also like go back to like their roots, their original roots with the PlayStation 1. So I'm okay with them winning this award pretty much.
I'm not. I'm
Oh?
sorry, but I'm not.
Oh, how so?
I'm totally not. Because as far as I remember, Astrobot is not like one of those games. If you compare Astrobot with Princess Peach Showtime, Jamboree, they're not games where actually you can play with all your family. They're like 4 players, like being all there all together and playing that game in front of the on the screen. Astrobot is not like, I don't recall actually is a multiplayer game for 4 people to be played with family or friends, all 4 players together.
No, it's more like in the lines of like Super Mario 64 or Galaxy in this case. You know, it's like it's something most of the family can play is what I'm saying.
But I keep thinking the genre of the game is not matching for the category. For my opinion, the best family, even because of the description, best game appropriate for family play.
right.
So I suppose is a game to play with family, the family or friends, but it's that type of genre. It's not a platform for that one. It's not because it's a game that can be played by everyone, young and older of a family. There is a difference between those two things because it's like describing a game to be played with the whole family, so all the family together, or a game that can be played by younger, older, middle age, but that's not family category in my opinion. So for me, Astrobot in that one, it's in the wrong category, and for me, is not the one that was supposed to winning. It was supposed to winning Super Mario Party Jamboree because that was the purpose of that game. Even Princess Peach Showtime. So on that, I think it's been a little bit stolen. I don't know how you think about that.
I mean, you know, like hey, everyone's entitled to their opinions. We're not going to be agreeing on it on everything. Obviously, that would be very pointless. So
Right.
My opinion is absolute because I am the icon of democracy.
Oh goodness gracious! All right, Lena.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't really put a Call of Duty game in the whole
Yes.
daylight either. So it's like,
Thankfully,
yeah, but
thankfully, no Call of Duty for that. Thankfully.
I mean, that's kind of obvious, yeah.
right. And honestly, I am looking forward to playing both the Peach and Echoes of Wisdom itself.
Echoes of Wisdom, interesting game too.
Yeah. I mean, well, then again, I did have to then.
Makes sense, yeah.
Mhm.
Well, and that pretty much takes us to our next one. Let's see. Best fighting game. That's an obvious one. We had
Yeah.
Multiversus, Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics, Grand Blue Fantasy vs. Rising, and Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. The vengeful winner was Tekken 8 from Bandai Namco Studios, Arkia, and Bandai Namco Entertainment.
And they also introduced, for the occasion, also the new character to join in the roster of Tekken 8.
Yes.
Which coming from directly from Final Fantasy 16.
Mm-hmm. Clive Rossfield.
So sexy.
Ooh, she being thirsty. Oh my god.
Boy.
I mean, come on. Don't you think it's cute?
Well, then again, I mean,
Huh?
I was.
What were you saying, Lena?
Oh. I was just saying that, yeah, Clive wasn't really the first, wasn't the only fantasy.
Oh no, no, we had
Noctis.
Yeah, we had Noctis in the last game, and a shit ton of villains as well.
Mm-hmm.
Suna Hirochi saying, "Was not expecting that reaction out of you, Sammy."
Yes. Hello, Suna.
Hey, Suna, welcome to the stream. And Koi saying, need to be more goblins in games. Goblin representation.
Oh yeah. Speaking of goblins, yeah.
Well,
I actually
if
anticipate.
at the very least, goblins will stop to bringing explosives. That would be appreciated.
Lord.
But yeah, like speaking of goblins, yeah.
Oh, what were you saying, Rena?
I believe I'm actually anticipating the myself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was actually a pretty fun game, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What game was it again?
Goblin Cleanup.
Oh, Goblin Cleanup. Very interesting title there.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and let's see. That takes us now to the next topic, best role-playing game. We had Dragon's Dogma 2, Elden Ring Shadows of the Erdtree, DLC, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, and the winner was Metaphor Refantasio by Studio Zero / Sega.
Totally worth it. Totally worth it.
Yep, I agree. I've played it, and I thought they did a wonderful job at it. And yes, you could hear the inspiration of Persona, obviously, because they're the same studio that made the Persona games.
You say it with such a rage in your heart.
That's passion, Sammy. That's a difference.
Well, I mean, it sounded more rage, but okay.
It's passionate rage.
Nah, I think rage or like
fire. Same fire.
I suppose.
During the Game Awards on YouTube, hoping for was it? And for award, but didn't really get one.
I don't remember.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it was in the chat the stream.
Oh, yeah.
People kept saying "Wuthering Waves." It's like, yeah, that I don't think that one's.
That is not an
Oh my
RPG.
god! Oh
Jesus
my god!
Christ.
Oh my god! Please don't remind me the chat on YouTube that it's been like covered on work.
Ugh,
Yeah.
It's been like
listen to
on
those idiots.
YouTube. On YouTube chat, it's been like the word of the moment. Been spammed all over.
Oh yeah.
All over the place, included also with the people that want to know about the how is called that game. I'm not sure. I'm gonna searching the name and then I will say it.
Yeah, well, I don't pay attention to those people anyways. They don't. Ugh, please. They're just a mess. An entire freaking mess.
Wuthering Waves.
Yeah.
Wuthering Waves.
Yep, Wuthering Waves. Alright, so that brings us to the next one. Best Action Adventure Game. So the nominees were Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, Silent Hill 2 Remake, Star Wars Outlaws, Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. I don't know if I said that already. But the winner was given to Astrobot, Sony Interactive Entertainment, and Team Asobi.
I was sure is the right. I will say the same thing I said for that, but on a different matter. Astrobot is a platform more than action adventure.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to agree with Sam.
No, fair
Why
assessments.
is why Astrobot being a platform is on an action / adventure? Just asking because
Yeah, give him
to
the.
me it's a little bit puzzling me. At this point, probably the most action adventure would have been probably with all the critics and things and difficulties had Star Wars Outlaw. Silent Hill, I'm not going to counting it. You know how I'm thinking about it. To me, remake, remaster, DLC. Out of that, because they're not games done for the current. It's not games ideas originally made for that years. Those are. I keep saying it before. I will say it again. Silent Hill 2 is a game of 2001, not 2024. If you never played before, that's your problem. And I was going to be very rude on what I was going to say, but I hold it myself. But don't you find it a little bit strange, that thing? Because I don't see Astrobot as much as it's a great game, but I don't see it's fitting for the action adventure category. What do you think?
Yeah. Oh no. Oh, I was waiting on Lita to say something.
Oh yeah, sorry. Cord kind
It's all right.
of messed up on the headset.
No, it's off, right?
Okay, so I'm saying on the fact that I don't really think Astrobot could be considered an based. I think it's more opinion. But let's see, Sound 2 the remake. Let's see, merely a remake. Be considered a quote. You're just kind of bringing up from the past to nominate it or something. And oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're cutting out there a bit, Lena.
Yeah, probably need to fix that.
That's all right.
But yeah,
Right.
Okay,
what about you? So you pretty much also think then this one is not being the right category for that?
right.
What
Uh,
about you, Ray?
oh, did I say something about? I thought I did say something about it.
I thought so too.
Yeah, I thought I already did because I was like,
Because yeah,
I said it was a
ca-
surprise because at least I think I said it was a surprise. It was a surprise because I always thought that Legend of Zelda would be winning this one especially, but because that's the one I voted for, and of course that was my bias. But it is what it
Mm-hmm.
is, right?
mhm.
I guess we already talked
Yeah,
about.
but it's a solid action adventure game, that one too.
Well, true, true. No, I mean, hey, if they think Astrobot is one, then I guess it is action adventure. I don't know.
But
Right.
but this actually, and it's not that I want to keep things holding up a little bit, but this actually enforce also what the creator of Black Myth Wukong said about the choosing of the game for the categories.
True.
We are already in two cases where actually the winner has nothing to do with the category that has been putting on.
Hmm.
Right.
And I don't think is as much as people might not agree with that. I don't think actually they were completely wrong on that statement. You know.
No,
And
no,
I
no.
think on that
Mhm.
matter is very much important also to pointing out that
Mhm.
probably there is more than a little bit of truth behind that statement, and then probably there is a critic issues in the entire decisional process for the gaming shows for the categories.
Mm-hmm. No, that's an interesting way to see it.
Hmm.
And that takes us to our next topic, or not topic, but like the next category, best
Category, yeah.
action game. And I think we already talked about that one though. Black McFucon winning it and all that stuff. And I think we're more unanimous in that one.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yes, we were.
I know I was. I thought it deserved best action in any case.
Hmm.
And I'm guessing Lena did
Yeah,
too.
yeah. For that, I was with my heart. I hoped eventually would have been Wukong, even if I gave my vote to Stellar Blade.
True.
Right. Right.
Now, obviously, we're gonna move past that, and we're gonna go up straight up to best VR AR game. They put Metro Awakening, Metal Hellsinger VR, Asgard's Wrath 2, and Arizona Sunshine Remake. But the eventual winner was Batman Arkham Shadow from Camouflage and Oculus Studios.
Is the one that I vote. That one, yes.
Yeah, I voted for Batman as well, honestly. Well,
Batman
no,
is
actually, no. I
Batman.
voted for Arizona Sunshine Remake. I'm sorry. Nope.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
I did enjoy playing it briefly
Eh.
with my brother's VR thing,
Mm.
so that was a
Right.
fun game. But hey, Batman deserves it too, not just because of its name, but for how fun
Mhm.
it is. And you, Lena?
I'm, I would. And again, I do own a VR,
Mm.
but I think it'd be fun to be like that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. At least on that game.
And now for the next one, best mobile game. AFK Journey, Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket, Wuthering Waves, and Zenless Zone Zero. But the winner they made for best mobile game was Balatro by Local Thunk and Playstack.
I had no idea actually Balatro was possible to be played on smartphone tablets.
Me neither, actually. I thought it was a PC game personally, but
I thought it
hey.
was PC too,
Hmm.
or at least a Steam Deck.
Hmm.
Well, hey, now we know.
I mean, now that I want to check also.
Yeah, go ahead if you want.
I just find it funny that a card game,
That the
It
card game did
is.
what?
anime-based game.
It is
I.
actually. It's on Google Play. There is Balatro.
Hmm.
Ah, yes.
But
I
yeah, I
never
just.
imagined that.
I was expecting Pokemon to get it because there was a rise of players that I've known that have been playing it since like launch, so I thought they were gonna win it. Whew. Excuse me.
Yeah, I think this game is still going strong too.
Oh yeah, it is. Like there are some people that still love playing Pokemon.
I'm still trying to figure. Yeah, I'm still haven't really played the Monster Hunter one.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's like I'm just trying to figure out how that would work.
Oh, I'm
In
sure
the
you'll find a way.
Yeah.
A card game created as a joke, mind you. Oh, you're talking about Balatro?
And but I have also something to confess.
Oh.
I have something to confess. Forgive me, Ray, because I've seen. At the end, I bought Balatro.
Oh. Well, hey, I mean, Balatro, as far as Balatro is concerned, it is. I thought it was impressive that they had one. It's a one-person team working on this game. That's very impressive and very respectable. Just as big as Concern Ape, who also one of the other one-team developers that worked on Stardew Valley. So
Yeah.
one person working on these games, it's almost like it's almost unheard of. Not really unheard of, but like it's not really something you hear every day. You know?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean it's almost impossible to do it in one-person teams, but those two in particular did it. And heck, you had Balatro, now part of the Game Awards, all of a sudden. So that it's
And
possible for.
made it also until the Game of the Award nomination, which is already is incredible. Of course, I had 100% sure that would have no chance whatsoever to winning a game of the year. But
True.
the fact that actually it was there nominated is it's surprising, but also very peculiar. But it's okay, I guess it's okay.
Like I said, it's not my type of game. I can't play poker. Don't want to play poker. But at the same time, I mean, it's very telling at how many nominations, even to game of the year, that it's gotten. So it's really telling at how hard the person that made the game is now pretty much getting his just dues for the game itself. And that takes us to the next one, which is, I believe, best community support. So, they gave this one to No Man's Sky, Helldivers
This
2,
one, I think we had no doubt.
Fortnite, and Final Fantasy 14 Dawn Trail. And of course, the winner that they gave to best community support was Baldur's Gate 3, Larian Studios.
Which we had no doubt it would have been the one winning.
Oh, of course. I have nothing against them winning that.
Yeah.
They deserved it. They deserved all the awards they got last year, even. So it's definitely very telling of their company and their values, their core values, and all that stuff, and how they love listening to the players and appreciate them, appreciate us playing their product. And it's just a big love letter, if anything. So I'm glad they won best community support.
Yeah, absolutely. Considering also they released very big actually update on a regular basic for the entire year. It's
Right.
something. So really kudos and congratulations for that.
Mm-hmm. And anything to add, Lena?
Um, not ex- I kind of figured there's
Mm,
I don't know there's nominee.
it's still cutting off there a bit.
Ah,
Mm.
yeah, like I said, probably need to get the board
Oh, that's fine.
And
switched
you
out.
and you know what? I'm gonna say something. Larian Studio for the we love you for the future projects. Remember of us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yes.
I will stop now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Settle down there. We got still more, a couple more. Yeah, we got a couple more left. We are going for best ongoing game. Ooh, excuse me. Best ongoing support, and all that stuff. So they gave the nominations to Fortnite, Final Fantasy 14 Dawn Trail, Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred, Destiny 2 The Final Shape, but the eventual winner was Helldivers 2, Arrowhead Game Studios, and Sony Interactive Entertainment. They won Best Ongoing.
Democracy always win.
I personally.
Unite, unite with me, brothers and sisters,
Ah,
together for democracy and freedom.
Oh, goodness gracious.
mm-hmm.
I was surprised they did win it too, actually. I'll be honest. I thought it was going to go to Fortnite, considering all the stuff that they've been doing lately, and even going back to their roots to the first chapter maps
Yeah,
and gameplay. That was pretty cool
for
of them. And I guess they're going through
yeah.
a reset of sorts, maybe. I don't know. But, yeah. I mean, Helldivers 2 getting it, I'm okay with it. Still.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? I also for the same reason I voted for Fortnite. You've been able to convince me that I hate Fortnite, and I ended to agreeing with you. So you actually bought me on that.
Oh, really?
Right.
You've been convincing. You convinced me to vote for them.
Yeah,
Ah.
well, I just look at it this way, really, because this is their. Even though they are the biggest cash grab for Epic Games right now, they have been working hard on it. They have changed since Chapter 1 when it originally
Mm.
launched, and now it's like a completely different game. It's not just about shooting anymore. Now it's all about the Lego Fortnite. Now it's all about rocket racing. Uh, Now it's all about their creatives, which is a slept on topic, pretty much. Well, not a topic, but like a slept on feature of the game, where
Mm-hmm.
you have players creating their own games on Fortnite, and it's very impressive. I've been playing some of their creatives, and I had fun with it since. And
Ah,
I
so
hope.
you appreciate it.
Oh yeah, I always appreciate Fortnite creative, and I hope that we see more in the next coming years from them. So yeah,
Hmm. I have a
Mm-hmm.
question.
yes.
What if the next project would be something related to Funko Pop?
Ugh, who cares?
Right. Right.
You might change
That's
your
probably when
idea.
I'll abandon Fortnite for good.
So Fortnite, if you hear us, don't put Funko Pops in your game because you will have one fan less. Probably more than one fan less.
Very
Mm-hmm.
likely more than one fan less.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Now we're going. I guess we're gonna go. We have two winners for the next two topics, so I'm just going to describe the for the next two ones just to make it a little bit faster. Best independent game and best debut indie game went to Balatro. Very good job to Balatro. I thought they deserved it, especially
Hmm.
best debut. Honestly, one person
Yeah.
again. Then they did the card game a whole lot different. Well, poker. they did it a whole lot differently in their own way, and I thought it is, well, it's a very unique way to play it, that's for sure.
Yeah,
I still
yeah.
can't play it, though. But,
Yeah, no, it's not that it's not like so so easy on that because usually poker games you know how actually are made, so you make them and it is one of the same all, but this one actually added game mechanics and has been innovative considering everything.
mm,
So they really made something refreshing in the in gaming mechanics and
yes.
is incredible on that matter. And made it a poker game a roguelike.
True.
Right, right.
Anything to add, Lena?
Um, Not that I can think of, really.
All right.
Intros.
Oh, all right. Well, let's go on to the next one. Let's see. Games for Impact. I think we voted for the same one on this one, I believe. I don't remember, Sammy. But going over
I
it.
voted for Indica.
Oh yeah, that's the one that I voted for too. That's one of the nominees.
Hmm.
Closer to Distance was another one. Life is Strange Double Exposure, Senua Saga Hellblade 2, and Tales of Kensera Sao.
Hmm.
Another good game, I will say. The eventful winner was Niva from Nomada Studio and Devolver Digital.
Which also is a good choice also.
No, Neva is a good choice. I thought it looked very beautiful, and the fact that they
Hmm.
were inspired by Studio Ghibli is a plus for me. So for them to get games of impact and such, I'm very proud that they did it.
Hmm.
And let's go with them. Yep. Oh, they're the same people that made the game called Gris, which is another beautiful looking game.
Oh really? Oh
Yes.
really?
They worked with Devolver Digital, not for Gris, but
Ah,
like the same studio that made Gris worked with Devolver Digital to make Neva. So that's pretty cool of them. Yep,
cool. Yeah, absolutely yes.
yep. So they are
I
definitely
didn't know
deserving.
about that.
Oh yeah, that's the first time I heard of it too. All right. Best performance. Obviously, they're going to the voice actor that did the best performance in a video game. So the
Hmm.
nominees go from Luke Roberts as James Sunderland from Silent Hill 2, Humberly Gonzalez as Kay Vess from Star Wars Outlaws, Hannah Tell as Max Caulfield, Life is Strange Double Exposure, Brianna White as Aerith Gainsborough from Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but the winner is Melina Jerkins as Senua in Senua Saga Hellblade 2.
I'm gonna say really well deserved on that. Really well deserved. I'm so happy for Melina she got this award. She really deserved it. Being the voice of Senua, the intensity she put on the character is mwah, great job. Really well deserved. Congratulations.
Lena?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to agree with Sammy on that.
Oh yes, I also agree with Sammy because I thought Melina did a wonderful job. Even in the first game, I thought she did a wonderful job, and now in the second game, obviously she brought it up. She's brought it up, way up expectations. So I'm definitely proud of her for winning
Mm-hmm.
best performance. Congratulations! Yay! And that brings us to the next category of Best Audio Design. Best Audio Design, obviously, I'm guessing it's for the sounds, the environmental sounds, and like area effects and all that stuff. So they gave nominations to Silent Hill 2, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Call of Duty, Black Ops 6. How? I don't know. and Astrobot. But the winner of Best Audio Design was Senua Saga Hellblade 2 by Ninja Theory / Xbox Game Studios.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God. And by the way, on this one, Astrobot it would have been fitting for the
No,
category.
I agree. It's that one too. Honestly,
This one,
Mhm.
Call of Duty, no. Call of Duty, absolutely no. Would have been the sound design, the shooting. That's the maximum of sound design.
no,
Man,
you know what
I
I
want,
think.
I want, I want to protest and I want to eat my microphone for how raged I am, for
Okay.
how outraged I am, because they put Call of Duty Black Ops in this category.
Mhm.
Honestly, I feel like they should have been disqualified the moment they made stepping sounds a DLC. That should have disqualified them from the. Oh my god! Like when I found out about that, I was so mad. Like
They
no,
potentially could have
that should
given
have
that spot.
disqualified them, and they should have put another game in there. But that's just me.
Yeah, they could have been putting the spot of Call of Duty to someone else, but not that one.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't know how it ended up there, but whatever. You know what? It is what it is.
Senwa, all life,
Oh,
really deserve that.
of course, the right person won. Yeah. Lena,
Um.
still breaking up there. Oh, but okay. Oh, did she disappear? Oh my god. Oh.
What?
Oh, there you go.
Like I said.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, but I really don't.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Nope. That's interesting to make. Let's see. So the next one, best score in music. Obviously for the best soundtracks, best music, and all that stuff. So as far as nominees, Stellar Blade, Silent Hill 2 remake, Metaphor, Refantasio, Astrobot, but the winner that they gave for best score in music was Final Fantasy VII Rebirth from Square Enix.
Yeah.
Eh, it had good music. I mean, they did some good remake on the remake as well.
Yeah.
But it's just
Yeah. No.
we're okay with that.
Mhm.
On this one was difficult. Because also Silent Hill 2 has good music.
Oh yeah, true. But I think we voted. Well, I voted for Astrobot on that one, and you voted for Metaphor, I believe.
Yeah. Yes. Because my thought about um, the remake things, but eventually for scoring music, I'm not. I mean, probably makes sense in a certain way for Final Fantasy VII because when they've been released, they were in MIDI. So, and you remember how was that music?
No, I hear you.
So from that one to remaking it on orchestra, now it's
Mhm.
quite a big work to do. Silent Hill is a little bit more recent, and it's not like the music of that game has been fully remastered because a lot of tracks has been left like it was originally.
Mhm.
So I kind of understand and agree with the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Award in this case, but also Metaphor
Hmm.
Fantasio had great music on that.
One sec.
And they are more original than Final Fantasy VII, but It is what it is. I think probably, if I don't mistake, but it's been the only award that Final Fantasy VII actually won.
I believe so. Yes.
And poor Silent Hill too.
Oh Jesus.
No, Silent Hill didn't want a single award. Potentially, this is the only award that Final Fantasy VII had. So imagine if actually, for the Game Award, I'm saying politically speaking, on a Game Award, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, as much of pointing on nostalgic and all other things, didn't win a single thing. I kind of feel like this has been like the move, also a little bit for, at the very least, making that game, considering it was a Sony um, exclusive, soon it will not anymore. It's there. At least being like, oh, he won at least one Game of Award because potentially couldn't win a single.
Hmm. And Lena.
Yeah, give me a sec.
Go ahead.
Corey gave me
Oh.
and man,
We
bad
got
mic.
a technically
Yeah.
technical difficulties.
Technically difficulties.
what?
Technical difficulties. She said.
Is it? Okay, I was
Oh, it's because of the mic. Your mic.
yeah.
I told you to not pick Chinese microphones.
Oh goodness.
Chinese?
Gracious.
Oh,
We need original microphones, at least from Japan.
jeez.
Jesus.
Yeah.
As long as they're not Sony.
Well, excuse me.
What?
She said as long as it's not
because
Sony.
people must know that Sony will never buy us. Just saying. Remember this. We will never accept as bribing favors or even microphone branded Sony.
Right,
We are
right.
on your part.
Oh,
we are with you.
But concerning the
Koi, stop giving octopus to Rina microphone. It's not where they're supposed to go.
She has a chip, which it looks like an interesting taste from the looks of it.
oh, yeah, it is.
Of course, I imagine the microphone was really hungry for needing mustard chips.
Anyway, back to the top. As far as really,
Nope, still cutting off fun.
okay. Now is it working?
Yeah, I hear you
No,
now.
yes.
Yep.
Okay.
For now, yes.
Okay. So back to the top.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Oh, jeez. What is going on?
what?
No, it's going on and off and on and off for you for some reason.
Oh no, it's the cord.
Damn cord.
Yeah. As far as I was saying, the fact that
Time to get
What?
you a new cord.
yeah, I agree.
we missed out a chunk of what you said.
Yeah, but as far
No, it sucks. I
Metaphor?
hear you. Yeah.
because honestly, I've heard many times over lately
Uh-huh.
in my head, really. I mean, can you pass up like sort of doing a base for a a battle theme. It's like, come on, it is it's it it gets in your head.
Well, actually, the Sephiroth music has been stuck in the head of a lot of people during my age.
Yeah.
With the one wing angel, it was already epic from the original Final Fantasy VII, and with the years
Yeah,
it's been done all version, including an orchestra. That's the most iconic music that is. Actually, no, it was that one, the one winged angel, but it was also the one where Iris. It's not even a spoiler for a game done in the 97, for fuck's sake. When Iris has been stabbed by Sephiroth.
yeah.
Eh.
So, spoiler until a certain point. It's past more than 20 years for that. Enough of that.
All right, there we go.
Mm.
There's no more spoiler for that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, for the next
Yes.
nominees.
For the next one, it is Best Art Direction. The nominees were Neva, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree, Black Myth Wukong, and Astrobot. But the winner of Best Art Direction was
Mm-hmm.
Metaphor Refantasio by Studio Zero slash Sega. And y'all go ahead and talk about that. I will be right back in a bit.
Yeah,
Okay.
For that, I completely agree. That's been the right call for that. That has been absolutely the right call. And this is the right and perfect category metaphor would have win because, god damn it, the art direction Studio Zero had with this game,
Mm-hmm.
especially because they could renovate from let's remember that this is the same studio that's been behind Persona, all the Persona games.
Yeah.
So, in this, it felt so much familiar, but on so many point of view, it's been absolutely delightful. Absolutely. So for this one, really happy, really well deserved. This has been the truly good call on this one. No bullshit whatsoever to be called by me. Great choice. Perfect choice, actually.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to agree with you on. I mean, I
I'm back.
such all
Welcome back.
the art
Thank you.
shots and such. Although some of the boss, yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna have to agree. I deserve that win.
hmm I'm sure on that also you can agree with that. Oh, with the best direction win by metaphor for pretty much the same reason as us.
Mm-hmm.
So without further ado, we want to go to the best narrative.
Yes, Best Narrative.
We're gonna keep the last two for last.
So for Best Narrative, they went with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, Senua Saga, Hellblade 2, and Silent Hill 2 Remake. But the winner for Best Narrative went to Metaphor Refantasio, Studio Zero slash Sega.
Deserve it.
I also agree.
Really well deserved. Really well deserved. Even if, even if
Mm-hmm.
I have to say, on this one also Senua Saga Hellblade 2 would have been a great, a great pick for the best narrative. But it's also it's kind of like difficulty for for Senua Saga because is not a type of game for everything or for everyone, especially for the 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 type of language that is used also for telling the story, and it might be a little bit cruel, but for that type of games there is no other way for do it, which I understand and probably is not much for everyone. On the other matter, for Metaphor Fantasio, it's been a little bit different. Even if the thematic are also, fun enough, very close to us, timely speaking. So I agree with the Metaphor having also the best narrative for how actual is the language of it, and also for the arguments treated in the game. It's a really mature one.
Mm. No, I have to agree as well. Nope. I personally think that they had the way they worked and all that stuff that is very deserving, and it's a very good job at it.
Hmm.
Obviously, a plus for the people that worked on the Persona games for long. They did their own thing, and obviously, it did pretty well. So definitely give it to them. All the props, and they definitely deserved best narrative overall.
Hmm. Even if, even if, I have to say, in all of
Mm-hmm.
that,
Mm-hmm.
there is a big absent in the best narrative category here.
Oh, really?
Wukong.
True.
Wukong would have been a much worthy um, game to be put into this category more than Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, because the narrative, even if it changed, it's that one. Same thing could have been said for Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 2 on that one, and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth has a narrative that is been retold from the original, and also, especially for Silent Hill 2, by also own admission of Bluebird team in I think one of their interviews, they said that they wanted to keep the story as much as close possible for the original without changing it that much. So, on that perspective, the narrative is even more enforced for what Bluebird team stated for the narrative of their game. Their game is the narrative of 2021, not a narrative of a game of 2024. So I think on that specific one, both games are not supposed to be here for the reason I said before. And Black Myth Wukong would have been easily one to put in here as a category. Maybe, and just saying maybe, even Elden Ring DLC could have been a good option for the best narrative, because on that category, eventually even the DLC could have been a good pick, because the narrative saying in Shadow of the Entry is a is a is a is a new story told, and is okay, is reaching a little bit more the base game of the Elden Ring, but it's not a story already been told and reproposed again. It's a new story. It's in this one I would have put both Shadow of the Entry, even if DLC, and Black Wukong instead of those two.
Your thoughts, Lena?
Well, I don't really.
That's fair. Huh? I think I already said my sting already for best narrative. So that just leaves us, yes. Two.
Game direct.
Yes. First, best gaming direction.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, for the directions of the games and all that stuff. And for the nominees, they had Metaphor Refantasio, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree, Black Myth Wukong, and Balatro. But the eventful winner went to Astrobot from Team Asobi / Sony Interactive Entertainment. How do you feel about that, y'all?
Good peak, but not the best peak. and but nothing bad. Don't don't have don't be mean at me. Balatro in both of them are out. Are, it was already clear Balatro was not going to win this. If would have won, it would have been hilarious. It would have been absolutely hilarious if actually Balatro would have won the game direction and game of the year. But to me, it was completely out of quest. But the same thing that could have been worried me most and Shadow of the Entry or Final Fantasy Rebirth to winning. I prefer Astrobot on this one than actually win, even if I would have preferred for best game direction given to Metaphor and for game of the year given to Black Wukong. I would have preferred much more like that, especially because, hear me out on this.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine, just imagine how impactful it would have been for the first time ever to having a game made by a Chinese studio to winning for the first year in the game awards,
Mm-hmm.
winning the game of the year. That
Oh,
would have been in that would have been massive.
that would have been massive. Yes, I agree.
That would have been massive, and I think it would have sent a very important message. And I think on that, Black Myth Wukong should have been the rightful choice for that. Without saying Astrobot is the wrong choice because it doesn't deserve it, but on a more matter of politics also, and for the type of game and the studio then uh, putting effort on this project,
Mm-hmm.
it would have been an incredible message giving the game of the year to Black Myth and game direction to Metaphor
Hmm.
or even Astrobot. Both they would have been both good on that.
No, I agree. What about you, Lena?
Um. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Wait, which one are we on now again?
Best gaming direction. The one that won was
Okay.
Astrobot.
Yeah. I really.
Yes, it's just pretty much an agreement with Sammy and I.
Yeah,
Mm.
Aye.
because I
It,
didn't really see much.
No, that's fair.
but in all of that, we actually, I think we also have to say thank you to Balatro.
Oh yeah.
I think we, all of us, not just we as podcast, but the player in general,
Hmm.
we have to say thank you to Balatro.
Mm-hmm.
And you know why?
How come?
Because imagine if potentially instead of Balatro, there was Dragon Age Veilguard. With all the 10
Oh
given
Lord.
by EGN and company.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Let's not forget also that thing. Imagine if actually there would have. Just imagine, if instead of Balatro, there was
Mhm.
Dragon Age Veilguard,
Mm-hmm.
with all the problems that it has, with the storytelling that is clanky, with the character design, with the character development that is horrible, could have won a Game of the Year.
Hmm.
Would have been riot. There would have been the people
Mhm.
being ballistic, saying, instead of saying this has been the best game of the year ever, there would have been this is the worst and the biggest bullshit ever happened in the entire
Mhm.
career of the TGA.
Hmm. Really?
So really, for that, because instead of Dragon Age Veilguard, Balatro is there, I really say thank you. Thank you so much, Balatro.
Mhm.
We owe you a lot. Just saying.
Oh,
Mhm.
goodness gracious. Well, you got a good point there, Sammy. I will
Mhm.
say. Okay, so let's see. We are gonna go to our final one. And that is Game of the Year. So,
Oh, yeah.
for all the choices that they made for Game of the Year, the overall game that they think represents 2024, they nominated the following: Metaphor Refantasio, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Elden Tree Shadow of the Erd Tree, Black Myth Wukong, Balatro. But the game that they figured makes Game of the Year is none other than Astrobot from Team Asobi and Sony Interactive Entertainment. Any thoughts, you two?
Oh no, you heard already
Uh,
my thoughts, but how sad it would have been better Astrobot than Elden Ring and Fantasy Rebirth. How sad, if you think about it, how sad is this statement?
mhm.
It's incredibly sad as a statement. Without
Yeah.
saying that eventually could have been worse, and also, like before, thank you, Balatro, for being here too. But like I said, I would have preferred Black Myth Wukong to winning, because the message to giving the first ever Chinese studio to participate to the Game Awards and then winning Game of the Year would have been ballistic. Would have been incredible.
Mhm.
I would have preferred that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but but one Astrobot is better than nothing.
Oh, goodness. And what about you, Lena?
This one was kind of a really on at least Black Myth Wukong. In that,
Mm.
it's got
No, that's pretty clear. No, you know what? I'd say it's a perfect choice as well, honestly. I mean, it did as good. It's done as good a job of what it did, but
yeah.
you know, it is what it is too. I
To
mean,
each their own.
to each their own. But
Yeah.
at least they had their limelight, so nothing too bad. At least I would say.
Yeah.
All right, and I guess that brings us to, let's see. Actually, that's pretty much the end for our reactions for the Game Awards. I thought
Yeah, I think the only one left is
Mhm.
the player voice.
player
No.
voice, but we already talked about
Yeah.
player
I
Yeah, we
was gonna
voice.
already
say.
talked about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, player voice. It was Black Myth Wukong,
Black Myth
which,
Wukong.
yeah, a statement of their own. Pretty much, it was quite the statement. Their own
Mm-hmm.
statements. And
Yeah.
you know what? They deserved what they gotten. And again, they shouldn't feel too discouraged about it. I mean, I was made aware because they posted a topic about this. Was put aware that a developer was legitimately sad about not winning. One of the developers from the teams, and they were crying about it and all that stuff. And I say they shouldn't go into despair about not getting Game of the Year. There's always next time. But so far, for the awards that they got so far, they've done a good job, and it's well deserved, pretty much. And players' choice, players' choice is definitely a huge reward in its own right. Any thoughts, you two?
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely, yes. I completely agree 100% with what you said. And this actually, like I said before, the fact that actually they won the player voice, so a vote that is 100% decided from us. And we are completely away from all the politic things that actually could be decided uh, from the journalists, the jury, and all the other things that make. But like we know, the 90% of the votes for the other categories. So this is a vote of the players for the players. So in my point of view, it's as much as important as the game of the year, if not even more, because it's a vote made from our heart. and and we decided that they were the the true game of the award for us.
Yep.
So yeah, they really shouldn't be sad about that, and they actually should be incredibly proud of that achievement, especially because it's been 3 rounds where several games were there, and among of them it included also Metaphor was there, Dragon Age was there, Final Fantasy VII was there, Elden Ring was there. There were all type of games. There were all type of games there, and at the end they won.
Exactly.
And so
Yeah.
it's a great win.
I agree.
So don't be really message for the for the studio. Don't be sad on that. You should be really proud on that because we gamers have chosen you for the true 2024 game of the year.
And I hope someone clips that so we can send it to them. Yes.
Yes.
But yeah, they shouldn't be too discouraged at all, in my opinion. I think at this point, they should definitely look at what they need to bring up again, and see. Just prepare yourselves for the future, pretty much. That's all you gotta do.
Yes.
Prepare yourselves for the future. That's all you gotta need. That's all anyone can do, really.
Yeah.
And that pretty much that is it for our coverage of the Game Awards reactions. And I guess we can go into final thoughts between us. How did y'all feel overall about what's going on and what we said so far?
Well, it's kind of hard to see what happened.
Till the next time for the next episode.
Jeez.
Jesus Christ. That's it? Is that it?
That's the cliffhanger. That's the cliffhanger we needed.
Oh my
Jesus.
Stay tuned. From.
Oh my god. Oh Lord. But yes, we are gonna continue this podcast, obviously. I mean, this is not just gonna be 2 episodes. I mean, obviously it's gonna be the last one for this year because we still are working on number 3, and we're gonna debut that in January, sometime in January when we are less busy and stuff, So hopefully we'll have a lot to talk about, and obviously, Irina, you're welcome to join us as well again.
Same. Yeah.
Because we do like having you here.
Right.
And obviously, Fox, we are going to work on this even more.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And since we're at the end, I suppose, I am going to rate us out to a friend of mine, Golden Crest 200, who is also doing a bit of a podcast in itself, and he's talking about even more nerd shit.
Right.
So I hope y'all are ready to watch some Golden Crest 200, and y'all, thank you for joining us of NetGuy and the Fox, episode 2. I hope y'all were entertained. And we will see you next time in 2025. Sometime in 2025, hopefully. And y'all take care and have a good evening.
Good evening, and see you all next year. Mwah.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
In the tournament firsthand. You saw all the bullshit I was having.